All right.
All
We
right,
got
that
it
was
right.
good. We did. You know, that's around.
For
us
you
to
got
get it
right
that
two
early.
times in a row, even we had to stop.
We did, even though we had to restart, honey. I had already gave y'all a cute opening, honey, and had to say cancel.
Ooh, the stuff we go through.
What's the tea? What is the tea? Oh, girl, the stuff we go through. What's the tea, bitch?
Nothing. What you mean? Like what I'm going through in my life?
Yes. What's going on? Yes, ma'am. Oh, let me say real quick. I think, like I said, I already gave a disclaimer about Wise Guy Code and these nieces, honey. Well, on that last episode, y'all might have heard them, honey.
They may have made a debut.
Come on now, they made a good debut. I have got to give Wise Guy Code a hand. He maintained through that last episode because, honey, they were giving him the business. There were packages being delivered to the house. There was so much going on, and he still stayed with us, maintained. You know, it
Yeah, I would have never knew.
Right. And the girls really loved your credit advice too from the last episode.
I know. I had people DM me
down.
personally. People DM the podcast page, Instagram. People comment. It was a lot. So I'm glad you guys liked it. I'm not sure how regular it will be. I may give y'all a little something today, depending on how it's going.
About to see how that wine hit you, honey. How hard that wine hit.
Right.
But
if it hit me too hard, probably not.
Probably not, honey. We don't want to get your credit too low, honey. We don't want to fuck you up now. But yeah, I meant to take you were getting so many great comments. I meant to like take screenshots of all of them and come today and read them, but by my life, that ain't happening.
But I am, right.
I am gonna prioritize that in the future when you guys leave us comments. So from this episode going forward, I am gonna hold myself to that and be accountable.
I can help with that as well.
Yes, please.
At least screenshot them and send them to you.
Yes, that'll work. And then I'll just pile them up, and then we'll read some of the favorite ones and stuff. So if you guys want to start leaving those comments and stuff, I promise I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna shout you guys out because we really do appreciate it. And like I say, these numbers, honey, we still have not figured that bullshit out. So it's best for us to, give y'all love by showing, appreciation for y'all leaving comments and things. So
yes, and a lot of people actually pointed out also that Tiger Tanza was wearing his especially shady boots recently.
Oh my God, those boots are red, honey. Yes, ma'am. Those are red boots, bitch. Yes, honey. I've been cutting up a little bit. I'm gonna have to bag it down. I don't know.
No, we love it. We love it.
I don't know now. Just the way that Kevin Hart was cutting up today. This week I was gonna come light. I was gonna come real light. But Kevin didn't hit the wrong tune with me, and then Offset talking about y'all won.
Oh God, don't get me started.
I said, oh, y'all really want me to cut up this week? Y'all is really acting a damn fool out here.
Oh Lord, Jesus,
come on, bitch. They is acting a fool. I can't wait. But yeah, girl, what's been going on in your life, honey?
Nothing much. I'm still out here. I did get a couple of. Oh, I don't know if they knew this, but I have been
on vacation.
So I moved out here September. It's now December. I was supposed to immediately start looking for a job. That didn't happen. For the first, I'll probably, it's now 3 or 4 months. The first 2 or 3 months,
girl, you have been on vacation.
I was passively looking for work, which means not
passive,
really.
I like that.
So I basically have been having a good time on vacation and just sightseeing and enjoying not going to work. And then it got to a point where I was like, you actually are enjoying not having a job a little too much. like it's getting to the point like at this rate you're not gonna go back. You're not gonna want to go back. Like I already don't want to go back. I'm really not gonna want to go back. I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and actually start putting in applications on a regular basis, actually actively seeking employment like I actually need a job. So
yes, God.
But I did get a couple of offers this week. I haven't accepted anything yet. I still have a few more interviews. So I'll probably be starting work probably early 2019 again.
That's all I was going to say. At this point, bitch, you done vacation so long, you may as well wait till we get back from Denver, girl.
Right. You
may as well
just go ahead and just start at the top of the year and then just start fresh.
That would be that would be cute though. That would be a cute way to bring you in the new year, honey.
Yeah, but that's what this week has been. It's been a whole bunch of interviews, a whole bunch of responding to emails and phone interviews and in-person.
A whole bunch of busy.
Right, a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, that's basically what I've been doing this week. What you been up to?
Okay. Girl, ain't been nothing in my life. I actually prefer to talk about Nicki Minaj's life because, bitch, it's going downhill. Girl,
Lord.
did you hear this, T?
I heard about the No Grammys, and I did hear about, it was her birthday this week, and I heard about this man that...
His name is Kenneth Petty. Apparently,
Okay.
Nicki Minaj has a new boyfriend.
I'm not impressed. I wanted better.
And she posted him online, but see, the girls, they went and did a quick Google. They do what I do. They went and they went right on over there, stuck that picture in there, and honey, a old sex offender alert came up.
Oh, God.
Girl, a goddamn, some office records came up with manslaughter. And,
Girl. I just didn't like him because of the way he looked. I just feel like she could do better, but...
And this is what she said. She said, she left some tweets and she said, everyone on social media is now a psychic. They not only tell the future, but the past too. They are your judge, jury, and executioner. I never meet these perfect people in real life, though. They exist only on social media. No one on social media has ever sinned. They all perfect. They piss champagne and walk on streets of gold. Sis, we not perfect, but we ain't out here just
dumb.
trying to rape bitches. You know what I'm saying? We ain't out here raping motherfuckers and
Right.
killing motherfuckers. Like, that's a whole nother level of, crimes ain't all the same, sis. Like, ain't nobody saying, a little marijuana, a little this, that, that's fine.
A speeding ticket.
A little speed ticket, 4 or 5 or 6, maybe 7 speeding tickets or whatever. That's whatever.
Are you speaking from experience?
Possibly. But like, no one's saying that they're perfect, but girl, this man, from what I done, and she talking about, they psychic now. No, they not psychic. They got Google, bitch, because according to the New York Division of Criminal Justice Services, honey, he has attempted rape, and apparently he was 16. And the
What
girl
does
I want
attempted
to
rape mean?
attempted rape is when you didn't succeed. I don't know how, why not.
Okay.
But you didn't succeed. So he was 16. The girl was 16 too. But the problem was when she said no. According to the prosecutors, he pulled a sharp object out on her and was trying to force her.
Oh no!
He was trying to force his way to having sex with her.
But she somehow escaped.
Right, and like I said, that draws parallel to her brother because he was basically forcing that girl using, causing harm to her brother to force her to have sex with him. That's really not cute, Nikki. And here you are talking about we all perfect, sis. We not, but girl, we not pulling out sharp objects and holding people hostage, saying, Nikki.
I was just thinking about this because not this part, but I was thinking about because I was watching Beyonce and Jay-Z's On the Run, some clips from it, and there's a clip in it where Jay-Z during one of his performances. He flashes like all the celebrities that got mug shots and all of that. Nicki Minaj has a mug shot. Yeah, she has a mug shot. And I was thinking, what did Nicki do? And I meant to go back and Google it, but now I don't even care. Because it's just like, if this is what you're attracted to, you are this, you always talking about you a mogul, you a boss, you this, that, and the third, and this is what turns you on. This is the type of a man you see yourself with. Have fun, please.
Let me find out this your drug dealer, and you didn't marriage your goddamn. Because something about this is just not adding up.
Did you see the video of her with him in the car? Well, she didn't show his face at first. She was just laying on his chest, and he talking about this weak nigga shit and all this, that, and the third. He was still advocating thug lifestyle and.
That's what she's attracted to,
and
that's what she's attracted to, and it's.
I was low key rooting that she would get back with Safari. I was hoping that would happen because I feel like
Safari was probably the best look of all the men that she has been associated with.
He actually glowed up post Nicki Minaj, so he might step back down if he were to get back with her. So
this is possible. This is possible.
Lord. Also, Meek Mill glowed up after he left Nicki Minaj. Goodness.
Somewhat. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not trying to run him over. But yeah, I feel bad for the Barbs because they was just trying to, I feel bad for them trying to stand up for a woman who's consistently making as many bad decisions as their fave. Like that's got to be hard to try to when you just got through making fun of Cardi online for leaving the man who was cheating on her, and here your fave is with a sex offender and a murderer. Like that's gotta be rough. That's a hit to take. That's a.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm not sympathetic, or I don't have any empathy towards these barbs, these 13, 14, 15-year-old kids on the internet, because all they do all day, they bring up Nicki Minaj in conversations that she don't need to be in. Constantly, they constantly
icon, legend, those types of conversations.
They almost single-handedly started, but Nicki Minaj did start some of the beefs. But other beefs with other rap bitches, they did help aid in those beefs without Nicki Minaj's help at all.
They have.
I don't have any sympathy for her because she doesn't take accountability for them. She doesn't check them. She actually encourages their foolishness and their antics. So when she does foolishness, it should be reciprocated. I don't understand. I don't care. At the end of the day, Nicki Minaj has shown that she's not a person that I'm particularly fond of. I think that you're not particularly fond of. However, you know how I am. I can separate. I can listen to good form and still give my whole life and not give two fucks about what you're doing personally. But that's just me. Everybody's not like that. If you're not like that, that's fine. I understand. But at this point, as far as Nicki Minaj personally as a person, she's shown herself. She's shown what she likes and what she's willing to stand for, and that's it. And I take her for face value. So that's all I have to say, really. But
I think she also may be having a bit of a psychotic break because
I think she's on drugs. I think she's a pill popper. I
do too. And if I were to send off for 19 Grammy nominations and I get 0,
she sent off for 19.
It's 19.
Girl.
She submitted for 19 Grammys.
Girl.
And got 0 nominations. And Cardi B got 5. Bitch, I might go date somebody
Cardi B got 5?
I don't need to be with either.
Congrats.
She did. And you know what? I actually hope Cardi B wins a Grammy. And it's for the wrong reasons. It's all for the wrong reasons. It's not in
you
support
are
of
revenge
Cardi.
against Nicki? What
Yeah, I really don't care for Nicki. Like I've never been a big fan of Nicki.
To me, none of these rap girls are really good role models to me. The only one of these, and you have to go back to the previous generation, like Missy Elliott, Queen Latifah. Those are the only MC Light. Those are the only girls that are really truly role models. Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, even Remy Ma. She did shoot somebody. All of these.
She glowed up though. She changed her life, and she, She did. She has definitely changed her life. She done got married. She's pregnant. She's
on
here.
probation. We'll see what really happens after she gets on probation.
Look, I'm not gonna stand too hard because, like I said, the girl been down there to the YouTube, down there to Joe Budden show, saying some crazy stuff. So I'm not gonna stand too hard. So I mean, if you wanna knock her, I'm gonna prop her up. But if you knock her down, then you knock her down. That's it. I can't. I'm not gonna put no more glue in it. I'm not gonna try to seal it up. So.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway. It's not that I feel Nicki needs to be a role model. It's not even. It's just I just don't. It's just her. It's just her. I'm not asking you to be. I like Lil' Kim, and like you didn't name Lil' Kim as a role model because she's not. But I do like Lil' Kim, but it's not. It's like you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have a. Lil' Kim went to jail. We all know this. Remember, I went
to jail. What did she go to jail for?
Lil' Kim, I think it was because she wouldn't snitch.
Okay.
It has something to do with that, but
some kind of conspiracy or
some type of
something like that.
Some type of something. But that's enough of Nicki. I'm tired of talking about her anyway.
Okay.
So what's up? We getting ready to open up? Or?
Yeah, we might as well.
Because we already here.
I did want to say one thing. Are we talking about Cardi today?
We are.
Okay.
We are going to talk about Cardi.
Just one quick thing. Earlier today, I was riding in the car, and Cardi B's I Like It. I Like It like that song came on. And what was so weird to me, this is just me being from Louisiana and now living in California. I guess because in Louisiana, the average Louisianian person doesn't speak Spanish. So when the Spanish version, because I've heard that song several times on the radio in Louisiana, they never blurred out any of the Spanish lyrics. Probably because people who does the blurring out on the radio station don't know what they're saying, and the average Louisianian person doesn't know what they're saying. So, but I said all this to say I was riding the car and I was out here, and then whoever it was, is Daddy Yankee or somebody, whoever it was, or J Balvin or I don't know who it is. Bad Bunny. I don't know who's on that song. I think it's Bad Bunny. But anyway, one of the Spanish guys was on there. He was rapping in Spanish, doing his little thing, and they started to blur out lyrics. I'm like, what are they doing? Like, it caught me off guard. Like, what are they doing? Like, it was just like so foreign to me. And I was like, oh, he must be saying cursing or saying something.
Shit he don't need to be saying.
On the radio, but in Louisiana, they would have never blurred it out because we don't know what he's saying anyway.
We don't have no goddamn. Now look, you don't have to. You just made our IQ points look like they're very low. You don't have to do that to us. Don't do that to Louisiana.
It was just. I literally had to turn the song off because I was laughing so hard because I was like, "Why?"
See, this is not. I felt it when you started going down this street. I said he finna make us look like some old country, no knowing nothing.
But in actuality, when the Spanish part of that song, we don't have a clue what he's saying. The average person in Louisiana don't have a clue what he's saying.
This is true. This is true. That's
so
not
they have
good,
no need or incentive to blur it out, and nobody's gonna report it or anything like that because we don't know what he's saying anyway. So
all of this is true. None of this is positive. So that's just what it is. Okay. Oh Lord, we'll be like number 2 on the list of worst education or something like that.
Yeah, you really putting us out there. Moving forward.
Okay, I'm sorry. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, that's the reality. I think we are only behind Mississippi, honey.
And I did want to say one other thing. I was talking to one of my college colleagues or classmates or whatever you call it. It's not I went to college with. And he now lives in California too. He lives in the Bay Area, but we were talking about the fact that in the South, at least in Louisiana, well, definitely in the South, as an African American person, I don't even feel like I'm that much of a minority. Because, if you look at the statistics, African Americans are only like 12 or 13% of the total United States population. But in the South, it doesn't feel like that, especially not in our hometown, which is a predominantly black city in Louisiana. So when I came here and I can go days and days on end without, maybe see there's a few little sprinkles of black people, I realized how much of a minority we are. And it was just like, that's all I want to say. It was just weird because
I don't feel like I'm a minority here until I go to work. and I'm in corporate America, and that is when I realize, oh yeah, I am a minority. That is when I get the picture. I get it every time I go there, especially when I look at leadership.
Out here, it's down to the work, it's down to the grocery store, down to the mall, down to the walking outside your house. It's literally, I was like,
it's every day.
It's every day. Like, oh wow, like it's like, oh goodness.
But that's good. That's good. Well, I ain't gonna say that's good. I'm not gonna say that's good. I had my reason, but I'm not gonna say. I'll pass on that. Some things you gotta hold. You gotta know what to hold and what to fold. So
we're gonna start this episode.
Let's go ahead, honey.
All right, I'm Wise Guy Code.
And I am Tiger Tansy.
And welcome to Backseat Drivers.
See, I have been saying it the last 3 episodes in a row. So
you said like the last month and a half.
Yes, I realize, because I try to be equal. I try all about equal rights. Kevin
but
Hart,
I don't know. I don't know. It just felt that way. This is the way the cookie crumbled, I guess.
I'm gonna switch it up, honey. It's gonna be your turn. You're gonna be your for the next couple of months. So what we gonna start off with?
I guess we can go ahead and do Cardi B. and
do we gotta do Cardi B first?
What you want to do first?
Can we hold her?
We can. What you want to do? Or you want me to do something? What you want?
Let me do Michelle. Can we do Michelle Williams? Did you hear anything?
Oh, yes. I heard this.
This is, I mean, is it bad news? I don't know. You guys be the judge.
I like them on The Breakfast Club. That was a very cute interview.
You like them on what?
The Breakfast Club. When they went to the Breakfast Club interview? You didn't like the interview?
The Breakfast Club interview
was cute.
It was...
To me, at least. Okay, you say what you want to say.
Yeah, let's go. Michelle Williams, okay, if y'all don't know, she announced on Instagram that she and Chad are no longer engaged. She said, I still Remain fearless. I guess I still remain single. Things didn't work out. The healing that needs to take place is a must. I don't want to destroy another relationship. Blessings to him, his family, and ministry. And hashtag fearless. And from what I've heard, she also released a new song called Fearless. I don't know if that was already in the plan or she using this divorce, this marketing. Sis. I don't know. But hey, you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do.
What do they say? Any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, come on now. Come on now. If I'm finna lead this man, y'all may as well buy this song. Okay, so
the girl's not buying that song.
They not. I don't even know why I said that. So in the latest,
go stream it.
They did.
Did you go stream it? You did not. You haven't even.
I didn't. I didn't. You know what? I told myself, I said, you really need to listen to this song before you record.
I know this because I did the same thing. I was like, oh, I need to listen to that song. And then
that was the good angel. The good angel said that, but then the bad one said, but you really don't care. You really don't.
I didn't even need
really
a bad angel. That was the last time I thought about it.
Bitch, not you cut the thought off before we got there.
No, as soon as I said it in my mind, that was it.
I at least completed the thought. I would say that, okay? I at least got that far. So we kind of already saw this coming. You know, we done talked about Chad and Michelle on here. I think even I told you guys I was a bit weary from the get-go of them getting on TV, especially on their own network, right, where they like to start stuff positive and then turn out to be, bitch, leave me the fuck alone, I'm done with you. And then he
asked her, did you take your medicine today and all of that?
Yes, and then the whole race element, he didn't understand none of that shit. Well, on the latest episode, the one that aired, I think this past week, Chad said to Michelle that he doesn't even know if they were supposed to be married. So have you heard the clip?
Was it the clip of them in the car?
They was in the car and they was talking about it. Yes.
I just saw like 10 seconds. I didn't get the full
so what makes pretext. That okay, well let me give it to you. What makes that moment crazy is that earlier in that same episode, because that was towards the end of the episode, earlier in that same episode they went to see this other pastor and his first lady, and apparently she had dealt with, they were a black couple, a black married couple, and apparently she had dealt with depression in the past, so they felt like they would be a good couple to give them advice on, you know, how to deal with all of this and getting married and all of that. So in that episode, like the minister that was helping them, he kept pressuring them to give a date, like, when are y'all getting married, when is this happening? Right. Because you know they had called off their engagement twice.
Right, I don't know and if they pushed back the way. They supposed to already have been married already at this point.
They should have already been married by now. The last time they called it off was when Michelle decided to enter into the mental hospital. So they hadn't set a new date, it was almost like they hadn't.
It almost like they weren't even planning.
Right,
like they weren't even planning a wedding. Like they was just.
It was like they weren't even engaged anymore. They weren't really engaged anymore. So
they were just dating again.
They was just dating again. So he was kind of pressuring them to go ahead and give a date, and so Michelle was like, I really want to get married by the end of the year. And Chad and Michelle had never spoken about that. Like that was like the first time that he was hearing that, like, after you getting out of the mental hospital, now you're ready to get married again the end of the year. And he said, like, I had already kind of set a date, so he was kind of taken aback by that. So
he said when you said he had already set a date.
He had already previously set a date before she called it off twice. So he's at the point where he's like,
I'm not setting a date again.
Exactly. Like, you asking me, I don't know what to tell you. She keep calling it off. So I don't know what to tell you.
So let me let you set the date, and then
but that's how I would be. That's how it would be too, but they would have needed. I guess he was probably expecting to have spoken about this before they got in front of the cameras. I really think that that's what it was about. Like, what are you ready? Have we done the work? Like, you just got out of a mental hospital. Are you mentally prepared for what? Is
now the right time for you to be committing yourself to marriage?
Right. When you got a lot of personal issues that you still haven't. And fully worked through.
From my understanding, they had broken up before she went into the hospital, and then they got back together after she got out, right? Or something like that?
They did. It was immediate, too. They did. It was immediate.
It was almost like, oh, I'm going through a lot of, I need somebody here for me right now. and then it kind of like you just go back into old habits type of. That's how I felt when they told me that. Like, oh, you had broke up with him leading up to, going into the checking yourself in because of depression, all of that. And then you immediately get back with him afterwards because you talked about how he was there for you during that time, so on and so forth. I kind of felt bad for him because I felt like she was really getting back with him because of him being there for her during that time. You get what I'm saying? And
you're getting to, we already kind of nailed Chad previously when we talked about this, and we nailed what his issues were. And they were race related, and we've talked about that, and you explained like you don't feel like he's intentionally racist, but he has, he's said and done some things that he just doesn't understand. Just being a white man, he's just not gonna.
He hasn't fully woken up yet. They talk about, oh, I'm woke.
And he may never. And he may never. He just may never.
I feel like he could. I don't want to say he may never. I mean, he could never, but
well, we got different we got different feelings about that one. But so that
Lord.
conversation, girl, I think he needs to be with an old white woman, and that's just it. But so that conversation that they had, that happened earlier, and he was like, okay, well, cool. Like she blurted that out. I want to be married by the end of the year. He was like, okay, we're gonna get married by the end of the year. And then later on in that episode is when they had that conversation in the car.
How did they get on to that? Like when you say he said, 'cause I know I heard him say, I didn't initially know that we were supposed to get together, something to that effect, but. Because I didn't see what happened before that. Like, did she just ask him, when did you know we were supposed to get together? What exactly happened?
They were talking about trying to plan for the wedding.
Okay.
But that's when I guess when that started happening, that was when he realized, like, I need to say something. This whole time, Chad has been there to take care of Michelle's mental health. It's like every time they would have an issue or he would need to get his voice heard, it would always go back to her mental health. And I don't think that she has done the work that she needs to figure that out. From what she said in the episode, she still hasn't figured out what medicine is best for her to be on. Right. So it's like every time, even the show, because you saw the Breakfast Club interview, even the show is called Chad Loves Michelle. And Charlamagne brought that up, and he said that, when he asked about that, why is it called Chad Loves Michelle? It should be like y'all love each other. But that's really what their relationship has amounted to.
Right. And the funny thing is he asked that, and then they both was like, well, at least Chad was like, I don't know why it's called Chad Loves Michelle.
They know exactly why it's called Chad Loves Michelle, because that's what it's been.
No, he don't know because he probably don't. Let me stop.
This whole relationship, unfortunately, has been centered around Michelle, and I think that Chad has aided Michelle in her recovery, but that she hasn't really catered to his needs in this relationship as well. And I hate to say that because that sounds kind of bad, but but it is the truth. She really needs to work out all of her issues separately. And I think that she has realized that. And that's what the message I read from y'all earlier, that's what I gathered from that, was that she realized that she has her own set of issues that she's got to work through before this ends up being another relationship that you fuck up.
Right. My whole thing is, I knew this probably wasn't a good relationship when they said they was dating for less than a year, then they decided to get married. That was red flag number one. Because me personally, let me just speak from my personal experience. And what I've been through with previous individuals or an individual. I'm not marrying nobody. It has to be out at the very minimum 2 years. And to me, 2 years ain't shit. Now that I know what I know and how much I still didn't know after being with somebody for 2 and 3 years. Like it was.
Come on now.
So 2 or 3 years is the bare minimum for me to say that I would even entertain the thought of marriage to somebody. Now you talking about less than a year, and then the fact is y'all not living together. Y'all supposedly, I'm not even say supposedly. Y'all not having sexual relations. It's just a lot. It's just a lot of extra stuff. I feel like
I also think that was a good thing, by the way, that they were not having sex. I think that was good because that allowed both of them to kind of look at each other. Because I think that if Cardi B and Offset wouldn't have been having sex, Cardi might not have got married to Offset, because that can kind of cloud your judgment depending on how good the dick is.
But also lack of goodness can cloud your judgment too. Now, I will say that, meaning that he's going to be eager to go ahead and sign, sign these marriage documents, because he ain't had none in who knows how long.
Which makes sense as to why she called it off instead of him.
Right.
So it may have clouded her judgment, and it cleared up her judgment, but clouded his. That's what you're saying.
It might have clouded hers too, a little bit.
Not having it, you think so? I really feel
I don't know.
like
I'm not a woman.
Okay.
So I
really feel like them not having sex really kind of allowed, because
we have a lot of female listeners, so we should ask them: do y'all think that if you were with somebody and not having sex with them, does that make your mind clearer, or does it also contribute? Because I feel like for men, it'll make them feel like, I won't say make them feel like, but it could cloud up his judgment in the sense that he's going to be eager to go ahead and move forward because he has something to look forward to.
And we're talking about straight men, right? Because I feel for me personally, I fall into the category where if we're not having sex, then I'm more capable of seeing you
clearer
with a different set of lens than the one that I would be seeing if I had that attachment to you as well. That's how I feel for me. So I'm speaking from me, not necessarily gay woman, man, but just how I personally would see it.
I think that's probably for straight men. Gay men is something a whole other something else.
We don't fall in no category. We not in no box.
So just what do y'all think? And I knew something wasn't right. She's like, oh, how did you know that race wasn't going to be an issue? Charlamagne asked him, how did you know race was going to be an issue between you and him? And she was like, oh, Chad has swag, and Chad this, that, and the third. And I was just looking like, that's the dumbest answer I ever heard in my life. And people in interracial relationships often say that, especially when it's like a man or something like that. I even heard on the Red Table Talk, they were like, oh, such and such got swag, and we knew he wasn't going to be a problem. He acted black, so on and so forth. And to me, he had yet to exhibit the traits of, okay, it's cool to appropriate or to carry yourself with a certain level of expertise in black culture, but it's a whole other thing to also understand it, appreciate it, understand your role as a white person, and act according. It's a lot of different variables that they need to understand. And I knew that he fucked up when he said with Charlamagne, because Charlamagne was basically asking him, was he black? He said, are you light skinned? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, oh, he said, oh, so you a brother? He's like, oh wait, no, I'm white. Like Chad didn't even understand what Charlamagne was asking when he said light skin. I was like, that's basic terminology in the black community. That's not right. That's not high level niggotry. That's basic. So at this point, I was like, okay, that's red flag number 7 at this point. Even though I did think the interview was cute in the sense that I feel like they actually liked each other, but I didn't feel like they was ready to get married. That's why I meant by the relationship was cute, or the interview was cute.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't. I'm disappointed though, because after hearing them say that they executive produced it, I just wonder, like, when they watched.
Did the show finish airing before she got to quit?
Girl, the show ain't even done airing. They got like 2 more episodes left.
I heard nobody was watching anyway, so.
Well, that's what Wendy's saying. Nobody was tuning in. That's what she said. But it's just not that. It's just that, Lord, y'all were done before the show finished airing. Y'all done fucking broke up.
She could have. To me, ain't nobody that pressed to be find out what Michelle Williams is doing. So she could have waited till the show was done airing before she, tanked the rest of the season.
Child, I guess she woke all the way up in that moment. She must have, because I was like, for her to take it to Instagram, because Michelle is not. I haven't even known of anyone that Michelle has dated prior to Chad.
I knew that somebody. I heard about somebody who ran off with some of her money and was scamming her, but I never saw him or knew his name.
I've never seen anyone. I've never known of her. I've never seen pictures of her hugged up with somebody. Like, I've never been involved in Michelle's personal life. So for her to do that, I don't know. It's
you. And let me say one other thing, and it's the episode when she was with Kelly and it was at the nail salon or something like that, getting pedicures or whatever they was doing, and she was like, "Oh, we all having babies next year. I'm gonna call you and Beyonce, and we're gonna all basically have sex at the same time, so we can all be pregnant at the same time." And she wanted all of that. And Kelly was low key looking like, I done already had a child. Kelly looked like, I don't know, I'm not here for this. But she didn't really say anything like that. That's just the look and the expression and the energy that I was getting from her. That she was not. She was just like, Michelle, what are you talking about? This is dumb.
I'm glad you brought up Kelly, because I feel like the fact that Beyonce and Kelly have both.
That's what I was leading
had
to.
Children.
They're married.
I feel like that's
They've
pressure.
been married for years. They already have children. Kelly's child is what, like 6 or something, like out of 5 or 6 or something like that. Blue Ivy is what's like 7. I don't know. It's like they already, and Beyonce already had another set of twins that we almost forgot existed. But anyway, like I just feel like she felt pressure because I think Michelle is the oldest of the 3. She's the oldest of the 3, if I'm not mistaken. She is unmarried. She doesn't have any children. I felt like she felt pressure because the average person in her age group would at least have been married and divorced.
Her mother was pressuring her on the show.
Right.
Like she's every time she would go over there to see her mama, she'd be saying, "Okay, so when you getting married? When you doing this? When you doing it?" Even when Chad went on and said, "Okay, well, you want to be married by the end of the year? Cool, let's get married." Like, he was like, "Okay, now you can call your mama and say she can pull that," because you already know, like, the mama, like, this has been a big thing in her family is, when are you going to get married? And I think that that's highly unfortunate that women get a lot more pressure from all gambits of their life, whether it's from their family or their friends or their whatever. They just, like, they get that pressure way more than men get. Men get to be out here, they get to play around, and they get to finally settle down whenever
they
the
could
fuck
be
they
45
feel like it.
and finally
Or they could be
down.
never and settle down with themselves and still hoeing. And that's fine. Like, they not constantly, at most men get pressure to have a grandchild, but you ain't gotta put no ring on it to get that. They get them anyway. So that ain't even a thing. So it's women who typically receive the most pressure when it comes to getting married, as if that is solely their responsibility. And I think that really leads to a whole nother issue, is how we're raising women versus how we're raising men. Men are not being raised to value and appreciate and to go after and to feel required to get married in the way that women do. And so for that, like I say, I feel like I felt really bad for Chad with this situation, because he has truly been taking care of Michelle this entire time. But for Michelle, I feel bad because a lot of that is pressure. So that I feel bad for her for that. But I am glad that she woke up before she made this decision and don't have to pull a Cardi B and now got to get divorced right after you just got married. So I'm glad she woke up.
I mean, I am too. I can't say I didn't see it coming. I thought they were going to get married, then get divorced, 4 or 5 years from now. I didn't think that it was going to be not even making that an hour, but I would rather, I won't say I would rather, like, this is my relationship, but I would rather y'all go ahead and call it off now versus going through the whole ceremony, spending all this money on the wedding and so on and so forth.
Wasting everybody's time, including Beyonce. But anyway, what you got for us over there, honey?
Let me look and see. Let's look. Okay, so I'm gonna do at least one, maybe 2 things, depending on how much stuff you guys talk about. So this week, Verizon announced that they will be, how do I say this? Is it surplusing over 10,000 employees, or at least, let me say this, they will be offering severance packages to 10,000 employees. So what they called it is their buyout program. They selected a certain number of people. I want to say it was, actually I don't have the official number, but they elected a certain number of people and gave them the option to be bought out of their employment contracts, even though they didn't have an employment contract, but basically bought out of their employment. So basically, they are offered up to, I want to say, 60 weeks of pay. It's a whole bunch of different things they can get, just depending on, you know, what your job is and what your title is and so on and so forth. This is all an effort to cut costs. Verizon is expected to be the second mobile company to offer 5G. I want to say AT&T is going to be offering 5G very soon, if not already.
Okay.
But Verizon is expected to be the next company to offer 5G services, and so they need to cut their costs. In addition to, we're also expected to have a recession starting within the next year and a half to 2 years. So they are basically using this as a preemptive measure to go ahead and decrease their employment. Now, these are mainly managers. You have to be at least a level 1 manager to get this offer. As we already know, you know, people who are below level 1 managers could be pretty much at will employment, and so they could be let go pretty much without any repercussions. That's like the people that you'll see in the stores, the people that you'll, you know, call on the phone and get customer service from. People like that, they can typically be let go with minimal repercussions from Verizon. So, so far about 10,400 managers have chosen to transition. They will be transitioning out over the course of the next few months. At the latest by June 2019. June of 2019. So. This is not good news, because this is what is expected to continue to happen over the next couple of years. You know, we've had a good financial, as far as employment is concerned, and unemployment rates have been very low ever since, you know, the second term of Obama's administration into, you know, the first, you know, few years of Trump's administration. So we're expected to see this worsen. And, you know, more companies laying off people, more companies, you know, doing similar actions. And this is not at all a good look. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, let me say this. If somebody offered me 62 weeks of paid employment, I probably would take it. Because I don't want to work. But that's just me. But, you know, like when 10,000 people are being put back into, you know, the unemployment system and being put out into the workforce, and then, you know, other companies are also dumping people into the workforce, you know, and these are people with, you know, normally with degrees, normally who have years of experience, and then so new jobs are opening up at a smaller rate. It becomes a problem because it becomes higher competition for fewer jobs. So yeah. So if you work for Verizon, my prayers are out to you.
With you, hunty.
Yes, because I personally have never been laid off, and I wouldn't necessarily want to know how that felt.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so I know you heard about this because you posted it. Little Mama and Bow Wow.
Girl.
Y'all, okay, so y'all know I watch Growing Up Hip Hop.
I will slap the fuck out of you.
Lil Mama was not here for it, so Lil Mama had to check Bow Wow on social media for lying on her ass, right? So Bow Wow's on the show, Growing Up Hip Hop. Bow Wow got a friend.
Which one is it? Hollywood, Atlanta? What is it?
Girl, look, it's Growing Up Hip Hop. It's the hood. I don't know. Girl, I don't even know. It's probably Atlanta. But so Bow Wow had a friend on one of these episodes, and his friend and Little Mama, they kind of was having like a little flirty situation going on. And so he, you know, I ain't gonna say they went on a date. They just was flirting. They just had a scene to themselves and they was flirting. To be honest, it felt made for TV to me, but that's me. So after that happened, he went back to Bow Wow to kind of tell him about the situation and what happened. And Bow Wow said, "Ooh, you and Lil Mama gonna be fucking in a week." So you insinuating basically that Lil Mama is easy to get. That's basically what you're saying. That she be out here, she be around. So after doing that, he was like, "Oh well, Lil Mama, you know, she invited me to New York." And the friend was like, "Invited you to New York?" And he was like, "Yeah, my girl gonna whoop her ass. I ain't going to no motherfucking New York with Lil Mama. You know, I ain't finna let Lil Mama mess up what I got going on with Kiyomi, who is, I guess, Bow Wow's girlfriend. Let social media tell it. She's a few people's girlfriends, but that's not here or there. But Lil Mama responded with what I will call one of the calmest reads, probably the calmest read we've seen in 2018, if not 2018, 2017, 2016. It is very calm. She started off. Come on now. She started off with opening some damn mail. Sis was handling business all while getting ready to tell you what you're not gonna do.
Right, because I thought she had to bring up some evidence, but no, she was just, you know.
This is just what you're not gonna do. This is just what you're not gonna do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play it right here for y'all.
I want to start this off just by saying that you played yourself, kid. Bow Wow. You know that in all the years that I've ever known you, you ain't never know a nigga to fuck me in a week. So to even give BT advice like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be fucking in a week," you're being a clown. More importantly, by even misleading anybody to believe that I wanted you to come to New York for us to do what? I was trying to bring you around some real niggas. You want to commit suicide one day. You going crazy here. You going crazy there. I come from a grounded environment that I was trying to bring you to. And we're doing a TV show. We're creating content. You are far from the type of man that I could ever see myself being with, sleeping with, any of that nature. You knew me since we was kids. When we was on tour, when you had the pre-cut t-shirts, the little pre-cut wife beaters that you used to rip off, who you knew that fuck? Who you knew that could get next to me? I was surrounded by men. My father, my brothers, my uncles. Y'all was scared to talk to me. So how somebody fucked me in a week, or you could give advice to somebody that they would even be able to? You out of your mind. You're bugging. You're bugging. And you have to stop. You have to. You got to stop. Oh. And there's so many things that I could address about this show. Like, really? But I'm not going to let everything pull my attention. Y'all can believe what y'all want to believe, all right? But you not. I let it slide the first time because I wasn't sure. You was like, you know, she'd beat her ass. I'm like, I don't know who he's saying who would do what. And, you know, your little girlfriend, whoever she is, nobody knew her before the show, right? It's saying that she would, what was the word she used? I'm trying to remember. Beat me the fuck up or something. Before we even start talking about a female beating my ass or anything like that, let's just be clear that I will smack the shit out of you. Period.
Okay, so y'all, of that read, one of my favorite parts was when she said, "You remember when we was on tour together and you used to bring the pre-cut t-shirts? the
super V-necks
that you used to rip open on stage? The pre-cut, Lil Mama, you didn't have to shade him for these pre-cut, easy to rip. We know Bow Wow, little baby body built ass wasn't on stage ripping no goddamn t-shirts up like he the Rock Child. We know. She was trying to help you, Bow Wow. That is why she invited you to New York, because like she said, and we gonna put suicide aside, okay? Because I don't put Bow Wow in that category of someone who has actually dealt with those feelings and depression and all of that. According to Jermaine Dupri, even the shit ain't real. He said I ain't seen Bow depressed. When the hell he was depressed? So you 1 minute you want to be out here posting little supposed to be suicidal type messages on the Instagram, but the next you want to be out here insinuating somebody a hoe and starting shit. Now I'm feeling like Cardi B. Are you the victim or are you the aggressor? Because she asked Nicki that. Which one you gonna be? Because you can't be both. You can't be out here wanting sympathy from social media, but then you also out here talking shit. You can't have it both ways.
And starting shit.
You and I really don't like when men like to insinuate and say things about women and try to make them seem like they easy and all that. I really have a low tolerance for that, especially with watching Bow and watching how you yourself are the worst thing for your relationship. You've been the worst part of every relationship you've been in. We've watched it. We've seen it. So I have no tolerance for that. And
that's
I feel
your dating
bad.
relationships. That's your dating. It's your relationship with music. That's your relationship with your fans. That's just your relationship. You in relationships, period.
I feel bad for Little Mama with this because, you know, she's a part of growing up hip hop now, and I honestly feel like they brought her on this show to use her as a punching bag.
They did. They thought.
But she is definitely fighting back because Bow used her in this way, but she also, they done brought up all of this VMAs or whatever award show that was, MTV or whatever the fuck, when she jumped on stage
she looked
9 damn years ago. She did. She looked as silly as hell, but they done brought it up. They on here asking her 2018. They on here asking her what really happened at the VMAs.
We saw what happened. It's recorded. It's filmed.
Know, like, it's not. She's done interviews about it. She's addressed it. She's cried in interviews about it. She's talked about how she's reached out to
people have made
Jay-Z.
memes about it.
People have made memes about her. Like we this whole thing has already been dealt out, and then they are on this show acting like she has an obligation to talk about this. And when she's sitting here telling them that she don't. They looking at her and talking to her crazy like, you did it. You the one did it. Well, because Brat was involved in this, talking about something. Well, Lil Mama came up to the Ricky Smiley morning show and her whole energy changed when we asked her about what happened at the VMAs and all of this. But Brat, are you on this show talking about your bankruptcy?
Right.
You're not on here spilling your tea about how
you make your payments?
Right. She had the nerve on this last episode to be getting rims put on some damn Jeep. In the mix of owing all this money to this girl, but you're not talking about that. But you want to drag Little Mama across the damn show for something that happened 9 years ago when you currently owe this girl money.
I'm sorry.
So Bow Wow responded to all, because this all got posted to the Shade Room. And he responded and he said that 2019, he said, not responding to none of you niggas when it comes to this internet shit. Y'all gonna be talking to a wall. And then he said, until then, I'm gonna be petty. And he posted that meme of Little Mama crying at the Breakfast Club, child. This is what Little Mama should have said was, how about you clap back at me when you're not on your mama Wi-Fi? Because Bow Wow, you stay at your mama's house. You 31 and you staying with your mother, okay? And there's absolutely, let me say this, there's nothing wrong with people staying with their mama. I don't give a hell how old you are and you staying with your mama. But when you Bow Wow and you were put in, I'm gonna say put in this position to make the income that you made, and you blew through it, and you sitting here and you looking a fool, and your career has turned into absolutely dust, and you want to sit up here and try to comfort Little Mama, but you typing while on your mama Wi-Fi? No, ma'am.
Right.
No, ma'am. Little Mama started off growing up hip hop with purchasing with getting a damn apartment, a nice one in Atlanta. That's how she started out. Her entrance into the episode was her getting an apartment. She from New
York or something like that?
Yeah, she ain't from the. Yeah, she from New York. So she's moved
not
out here to be a part of the show. She moved out there to be a part of the show. So that's how she comes into the episode. You pulling up at mama house for your scenes.
So he's actually being filmed at his mother's house?
Yeah. He's at mama got a nice house now. No lie. Mama house is sickening. That's not the point. Mama did whatever she needed to do with the coins you gave her. and meanwhile, you blew through yours.
Okay.
And now you sitting here and you trying to use her. You are Bow Wow. You are the joke. You can't be the joke and try to make a joke when you are the joke, sir.
Right.
You the joke.
The
internet might like joking with Lil Mama, but you really are the joke. At least we know Lil Mama got talent. Lil Mama getting a movie in a minute.
I thought he retired from music. Didn't he retire?
Or did we retire him?
Girl, both.
This sounds like, what did you just talk about? Were they sitting here giving severance packages? I think we gave him his. I think we gave him his papers.
We gave him his papers, no severance. That's what we did.
Mama have to provide the severance.
Lord.
Okay, so that's it.
Goodness.
That's him. That's that.
All right, so we'll be back. We'll take a quick break and then we'll be back.
Mama's wind down through my timeline. Yeah, I caught him lurking. Like you know my pigs, like he tryna put that work in. He ain't know I be in my bag, I'm in my Birkin. Yeah, I left him jerking for certain. You gon' get this word, this is not an option. 2016, got a lot of music dropping. Tell the promoters, we gon' get the club popping. If it ain't about the money, then we ain't talking. I'm on some bosses, my company flooded with bosses. I'm a designer, I cop it, I rock it, it's flawless. I go retarded, till I get my palm on the target. I'm sharp.
Can you name another artist who has a song that consistently recharts year after year? Can you name another?
Maybe if I had to say an artist, I would say either Michael Jackson, because I feel like at some point his Thriller album just either around his birthday or something, just I would or a song from Thriller would rechart, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But no, I can't not just continuously name an artist.
I don't know about Michael, and I definitely thought about him, but like you, I hadn't heard anything about it, and then I hadn't. Yeah, so I was like, maybe I'll try to look out for that. I feel like it would probably get some type of attention if it happened, but I'm not sure. But what I wanted to get at is that Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You," girl, I was going to give it a whole new name. "All I Want for Christmas Is You" is currently at number 7 on the Hot 100, bitch. And that is the highest position the song has occupied since it came out. Last year, it made an all-new high of number 9. So this year already, and we still have a couple of more weeks for the Billboard chart to refresh before Christmas, and it is already at number 7. Like, that is I just find that just crazy.
Purchased? I don't know if I've ever purchased All I Want for Christmas. I might have to purchase it this year.
Yes, this would be the year to do it. This would be the year to do it because the lambs are pushing, honey. They trying to get it up there.
Girl, they got
I don't know if I feel like it'll get. I don't know if I feel like it'll get to number 1. I feel like it could possibly break top 5.
I feel like as music sales continuously get weaker and weaker, it has a better and better chance.
It does because but it's just crazy to me how in a week, like these weeks leading up, how much better that song does than songs that are like currently, like,
because it's amazing that she wrote an instant holiday classic. Like, it's just like,
from what I hear, it's the last classic. It's like the last Christmas classic.
It's the most recent. Cause I don't who was making original Christmas music these days anyway. Like, the girls,
they be very hoodish. Big
Frida,
Kaya, Tamar, K. Michelle. They be very hood. Destiny's Child dabbled. They be very hood.
Yes, that was cute. That was cute.
They be very hood geared.
But even like, I feel like Christmas albums are becoming less and less of a staple. Like, your favorite artist back in the day, everybody was at some point during their career would have released a Christmas album. But I also feel like Christmas is becoming more about just shopping than anything. Like, Christmas, Thanksgiving, like those holidays, they are becoming less of a staple as far as, family and quality time and, a sense of belonging and a sense of community and togetherness and all of that. And it's more becoming, a capitalist holiday. Meaning, like, you just purchase and buy and consume goods.
Now look, you're trying to go sad. Like, we supposed to be happy and joyful for Christmas, and you getting depressing, bitch. you speaking facts. You speaking facts. But let's keep it on Christmas and happiness. All I want for Christmas is you.
Well, I don't know if this reckless driving is about to be.
What's the tea?
Let me go ahead and get this out the way. So this is about the Sutherland shooting that happened, I want to say, last year. It happened November 5th of last year in Sutherland Springs, Texas, where the former Air Force member went into a church in Sutherland, Texas, at First Baptist Church in Sutherland, Texas, and he actually killed 26 individuals. We actually reported this at the time that it happened last year. We also reported that he was let go from the Air Force because of his domestic abuse allegations. It wasn't even an allegation. They had proven that he was domestically abusing, I want to say, his wife or girlfriend or something like that, and other things. But the Air Force failed on several occasions. This just came out. The Air Force failed on several occasions to report his criminal record to the FBI. And if they had on, I think it was like 6 or 7 occasions, they had the opportunity to report, or had the opportunity and obligation to report his criminal record to the FBI, and they failed on each and every count. Right. Had that happened, his fingerprints as well as his name would have been given to the FBI and then put on a master list of people who are not allowed and prohibited from purchasing firearms.
This was a huge deal when this happened. I remember this.
Right. So this was one of the bigger shootings of last year. I can't say it's the biggest, unfortunately.
That's sad to say. 26 people dying at one time.
Yeah, I think the biggest one last year was the one in Las Vegas where over like 500 people were shot. Not all of them died, but at least injured.
It topped like one, as far as the number of people who died, it topped like the Pulse nightclub, I think like one person.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, exactly. But this particular shooting and this particular incident, it would have prohibited him from getting guns. But my whole thing is this: if you plan on shooting up a church or doing any type of mass shooting or anything like that, there's nothing that's going to stop you. I personally can't purchase a gun. You know how I can pay a crackhead $20 on the street to go walk here and purchase me.
Come on now.
So it doesn't. It's not.
It's not hard to do. I was watching a show. I don't remember what show it was, but there was a scene where. Oh, you know what? I know exactly what it was. It was Widows. Viola Davis' new movie.
Yes,
that everybody needs to see. Yes, in that movie. Do you remember that scene where Viola tasked the white woman with going
right? Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And the woman was like, "Where the hell am I supposed to get some guns from?"
And she said, "This is America."
She said, Viola said, "Baby, this is America. It's not gonna be a problem."
You can pick you up a bologna. You can pick up a bologna
that
sandwich.
Was powerful.
And an AK-47, just like that.
Yes, and that was powerful. It spoke to the reality. It really did.
Before we get back to this topic, I'm just going to divert one more again. I was watching some documentary because I had been, researching North Korea because it was just interesting to me how sheltered they are from the rest of the world. And it was like a documentary of a bunch of different people from Asian countries and stuff like that talking about their views of America before living in America. So, and one of the people, he was like, yeah, so, I'm constantly seeing on the news, he wasn't from North Korea, he was from like South Korea, somewhere like that. He was like, I'm constantly seeing in America on news, about the gun violence and everything. He said, I went to visit, New York one time, and I was concerned that throughout my stay that I might, get shot because I constantly see how much gun violence there is in America. It's constantly on the news, constantly being reported around the world, and how many mass shootings and how the United States has more mass shootings than any other civilized country in the world. And I was just like, wow, like that's really what they think of us, you can't, he was literally concerned about just visiting this country and just going
because of those statistics,
because he knows that unlike any other civilized country, he's more likely to get shot up just shopping in the mall. in this one, bitch, it's crazy, and that made me think, like, wow, like, I already knew the statistics that, like, we have the highest incarceration rate and the highest gun violence out of any civilized country. That's a country that's not considered third world, that is not considered poor, that is not considered, struggling, out of any civilized country. And then we want to say, oh, we want to tell every other country, oh, we don't, y'all don't know what you're talking about, we got this under control. But they already clearly have doing something right. Well, they already solved let me just say this. The access that we have to guns is literally insane. literally insane. I was watching the EMAs, and I meant to talk about this a few weeks ago when Janet performed at the European Music Awards. We were the butt end of the joke when they you know how the hostess, you know, they make jokes about different stuff. They made a joke about Trump and America and how, I don't even know what the joke was, but I was just like, wow. So like, we're literally the laughing stock of world politics. I watched a video of Trump. He was at some type of peace treaty ceremony and something like that with I want to say the leader of Canada and one other country.
Is this the one where he signed in the wrong spot?
Yes, he didn't know on the piece of paper where to sign his name, because I'm assuming when he signs stuff in America, they probably have you know, little
a label
stickers,
that say Donald Trump on it.
Trump signed here, you know, like, and they didn't have that, and
here.
he didn't know what the fuck to do, and then the other dignitaries was looking like, "Are you dumb? Are you dumb?" I might have to go ahead and like Mary Mark, because I keep using her slogan. Are you dumb? Like, are you dumb?
I don't know why you don't like her. I don't know. You need to. You really need to. She's fun. She's a fun girl.
I'm gonna have to pray on that one, but
what Aretha say? I'm gonna pass on that
one. Oh, but anyway, it's literally just horrible. But back to this whole story. You know, they're talking about, oh, you know, the Air Force should be held accountable, blah, 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 blah. As long as you can buy guns as easily as you can buy a slice of bread in this country. It's actually more laws against marijuana and alcohol.
Girl, don't take me down that road. Don't
than there is against buying guns.
Don't take us down.
So I'm not even about to. I'm not going to even blame the Air Force, because there have been numerous cases where people have called in and reported and said, I think this person might commit, you know, a mass shooting or something like that, and the FBI, you know, took that into account and did nothing. And then the kids at the schools, when they be interviewing these kids after these tragedies, they say, like, in the interview, the kids say, like, we kind of already knew that he was. We already reported that to a teacher, and the teacher say, "Oh, we already reported that to local authorities, and they did nothing." Like, it's whenever it's a white guy, it's not a threat. If it was a black person locked up, you know, detained, everything. But anyway, that's enough on that. We done.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I don't know. We might need those same emotions and feelings that you done riled up to talk about Kevin Hart. I really didn't want to talk about Kevin, but this is just such a big topic. I can't pass on it. So apparently it has always been a desire, a lifelong goal for Kevin Hart to get up in front of all of the white people down at the Oscars, honey, and who have historically felt we were undeserving of their little golden men, and to have them look at him in his tuxedo and say, "You is kind. You is smart, and you is impotent." That is what he has always desired. And okay, cool, whatever, Kevin. That you can want what you want.
Pause, real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt, but Viola Davis is now singing. That's one of my favorite. Like that's. I know. If I can list my top 5 favorite movies,
The Help is
that
up
would
there.
be it's up there for me. I can quote
We
so
are
many
both
lines.
Viola down. We are Viola. Like, we love Viola. Like, if Viola was like,
her.
If we could like buy tickets to come see Viola, what we would go. Like, we love Viola. She's gonna have to do speaking engagements, like, and offer them to the public,
or go back to Broadway or something like that. We have to take a cute trip to New York.
Yes, God.
But she said that she regrets doing The Help. Did you know that?
She did. I saw that bitch.
She said because she said that she felt that it wasn't a true story of
her character wasn't developed.
Her character wasn't developed, and they didn't tell a true story of the maids and what they went through and their opinions and their lives and all of that. It was more about Skeeter. Right. It was more about Skeeter, and the other girl was just played by Emma Stone, which I also love Emma Stone. But
she talked about that recently, about how they historically in movies and things, how they, when they would have a black character in a movie, they were just there. Like, they had a name, but they didn't need a name. Like, they could be any
name. They were romanticized. Right, or Octavia's Minnie, who was played by Octavia Spencer, and she went on to win an Oscar for that role. It's just the loud mouth, the sassy one, the one, and that's that same character they give everybody, but you don't
very stereotypical.
They didn't really go into how the fact that Minnie was getting beat by her husband, and she had all these kids, and then she had to pull her child out of school. Like they didn't go in, because I know the movie. Like they gave like one or two scenes, but other than that, like everything was about Skeeter and her dating, and her being the one white woman who was willing to help these Negroes in the movie. So it was a lot, but I love that movie. But that's all I want to say. But back to the
Kevin, honey, to Kevin,
yes,
Miss Hart, honey. So Wednesday, the Academy, they said, okay, come on, I guess we're gonna let this nigga in the door. They said that he could come on and host the show, but by Thursday, honey, he has stepped down, and apparently all of these anti-gay tweets, I don't know where the hell they came from. I don't know who dug for them. Personally, I didn't give a fuck, but they came up and they were posted on his Twitter between 2009 and 2011, right? So I'm gonna read some of them
over years. I thought it was just like
recent
one tweet.
Oh no! I thought
it had one tweet like when they was advertised like on the web section. It was like it's like one tweet in 2019, and he done got his whole gig taken.
No, sis, this was the thing. This was. There were people literally out there like trying to uncover all of the tweets. He had his team go through and start cleaning up his Twitter because of just the sheer volume of tweets of him using AIDS as a joke, the word fags in joke. Like it. I'm gonna read a few of them here. I got 4 of them that I was able to get. And he said, "Yo, if my son," this is the first one. He said, "Yo, if my son comes home and tries to play with my daughter's dollhouse, I'm going to break it over his head and say in my voice, 'Stop, that's gay.'" And there was no emojis, no LOLs. I guess that was supposed to be a joke. I didn't laugh, but I don't know. Maybe that was supposed to be a joke. The other one, he says, "Why does @Wayne215 have so many pictures of me in his phone? What are you, some type of fat fag that takes pictures of small black men all day?" Okay, I guess. The other one says, "Why does @DamonDW profile pic look like a gay billboard for AIDS? Boom, I'm on fire tonight." Sure, Kevin. And here's the last one. He says, @DWadeOfficial. He said, "You should ask the question, little this. How many gay men sweat when they wear dress shirts because real men don't?" And then he said, LMAOPS fag. I don't know what that was supposed to be. I'm trying to.
First of all, you mix Kevin Hart, which is he's never funny to me. How like the amount of times that he's made me laugh is probably in the negatives. So mix that with homophobia is just like what are you doing?
What is this? What is like it's
right?
So let's keep pushing here. Let's get the story out the way, and then we're gonna really dig into this. So once the tweets came up, social media started talking about it. They was trending and all of that. The Academy hadn't said nothing yet.
Somebody been waiting on them tweets. They had been holding those
somebody
tweets.
might have been holding on.
As soon as he gets something I feel like
that he don't deserve or whatever, like I'm gonna get him. They always try to.
As soon as it's not too niggery, because black people don't care about gay tweets.
They certainly don't, and we gonna get there. We gonna get to the internet. We certainly will get there. So he said,
with these white people, they will fire you over anything.
We gonna get there. So before the Academy had anything to say, Kev made a video and he said, "My team calls me. Oh my God, Kevin, everyone's upset by tweets you did years ago. Guys, I'm nearly 40 years old. If you don't believe people change, grow, evolve as they get older, I don't know what to tell you. If you want to hold people in a position where they always have to justify the past, do you? I'm the wrong guy, man." And Kevin, Be you big man, honey. You just gonna stand in your foolery. He was laying down in the bed, made that video. You just, you got all this money. You can't be told what to do. Cool. After he put that up there, the Academy called that ass and said, look, nigga, we want you to do this because we trying to look like we care about diversity. And so we need you to come do this, but it's not really looking good. So if you could just apologize and we could just keep it pushing. And that's all they asked. They weren't firing him. They just wanted you to apologize, or they were going to have to find somebody else because you have blown this up. Because
you have wronged the entire community of people. And it's your obligation to prove that since you said, oh, I've changed, prove you changed. I mean, apology not going to prove it to me, but at least, for semantics purposes, go through the rigmarole. Continue, please continue.
So instead of him going ahead and deciding to do that, he let his ego speak. He let his Napoleon complex speak, which if y'all don't know what that is the complex that some short people got. Okay, where they get a little too aggressive and they feel like they feel inferior, and so they act out. They go down these power trips, and they have these moments where they don't want to be told shit. And so he let all of that come to the surface, and he let that speak, and he said, I chose to pass on the apology. The reason why I passed is because I've addressed this several times, he says.
When did you address it?
This is not the first time that this has come up. I've addressed it. I've spoken on it. I've said where the rights and wrongs were. I've said who I am now versus who I was then. I've done it. I'm not going to continue to go back and tap into the days of old when I've moved on and I'm at a completely different place in my life, right? So after he said that, social media was like, yeah, like all the homophobes, right? They was like, yeah, like, that's right, Kevin. You do you. You stand by. You done already talked about this shit. You ain't got to talk about it again. Like, most of the comments that I saw was, well, if he already apologized, then why he got to do it again? He already said that he apologized, which he did not say that, but that's what the comments were saying. I guess they interpreted that to mean that you had already apologized for this. So what I did was, instead of doing what social media do and just saying, I'm going to trust you on what you're saying, I said, let me go back. Let me dig and let me see if he has addressed this before, or if better yet, if he has actually apologized for this before. Because I'm not one of those people who feel like you need to continuously apologize for something that you've already apologized for. If you've already apologized, you've apologized, and this move forward. And if that's exactly what I was talking about with the Little Mama situation. Little Mama had already apologized for that. So stop asking her to rehash something that she's already handled. So if he actually had done it, I would have been like, okay, Kevin, I kind of can see where you're coming from with that. But let me give you the one time where he actually has spoken about this before. And I was able to run across an article from OprahMagazine.com. They do their homework over there. That's O. That's O, sweetie. They do their work over there. And also the Washington Post dug back, and they found the same exact article that I found, right? So this was back in 2015. It was an interview with the Rolling Stone. And they asked him about, because, Kevin ain't just done, use fag and AIDS and all this stuff on Twitter. Even in his specials, he has made jokes about his son, the possibility of his son being gay, and saying that his biggest fear in life is his son being gay. Not his son coming out with some type of debilitating situation or condition, or his son coming out not being able to speak, or how about like Dorothy Dandridge, your son coming out not even knowing that he in the world, not even being able to recognize who the hell you are, or coming out stillborn. But no, his biggest fear was his son coming out gay. So what he said was, and let me scroll back to it because I done scroll right past it. He said, I wouldn't tell that joke today because when I said it, the times weren't as sensitive as they are now. I think we love to make big deals out of things that aren't necessarily big deals because we can. Where in that statement did you apologize and accept ownership? Mend
fences with the community that you disparaged? Did you any of that?
All that you did was redirect the blame. You said I wouldn't say this joke today, not because I feel like it's inconsiderate or it's hurtful or it's harmful, but because y'all are sensitive. Y'all are the ones who feel some type of way about this. So I wouldn't say it because of y'all, but not because it's not cool to say, right? So we can go ahead and squash that, right? He has not apologized for it. This was the sole time that he addressed this situation before. So all that in the comments talking about he didn't. You're lying. You don't know the truth. All right, so let's keep on with it. So after, standing his ground twice in a row, he finally went on and decided to issue an apology, as well as to allow his ego yet again to get him right up out of this job. And he said, "I have made the choice to step down from hosting this year's Oscars. This is because I do not want to be a distraction on a night that should be celebrated by so many amazing, talented artists. I sincerely apologize to the LGBTQ community for my insensitive words from my past." That was all the Oscars asked you to do. Had you started off with that statement right there, minus the part about stepping down and just give the apology, nobody would have had shit to say.
Nobody.
You would have stood in it, you would have apologized, and you would have still been hosting the Oscars, and you would have still got to live out what supposedly was your dream. But you decided to let your ego stand in the way and to make you feel like you were in the right. And let's get here with the black community, because it's very hard and it's very hurtful at times to be both black and gay. It really is, because it's almost inconceivable how a community that is a minority community and understands what it means to be oppressed. It's hard to understand how they then turn around and oppress another minority community. But that is really the reality of what it is to be black and gay. And I want to mention here too. Did you see anything? Did you see what Gary Owens said?
I did not.
He posted a video, and he was defending Kevin, and he said, I want Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen DeGeneres, you need to come and you need to stand for Kevin.
You need to, you are a proud gay woman. Blah blah blah.
You need to, because the Oscars, shouldn't force Kevin to step down.
They didn't force Kevin to step down.
When did they force him to?
They just asked him to right the wrongs that he already made. They didn't ask him to go right wrongs for somebody else, for his cousin, his aunties, uncles.
Let's flip it here for a second. Let's make a little bit more sense to people who aren't gay. If there was a white person that the Oscars was gonna let come on in and host, and out of the sheer desire of somebody, because like I said, I didn't give a fuck about Kevin or these tweets. If Kevin wouldn't have went down this street that he went down, I wouldn't even be here caring about this, because I'm okay with people growing from their past. I'm fine with that. It was the fact that he has not grown. That's really why we're here. So let's say that there was a white person that put out all of these old ass tweets between the same time period, 2009 to 2011, and was constantly using the word nigga and making all of these jokes about black people and stuff like that. How would you then feel if Gary Owens, if that white person had done that, number one, and didn't want to apologize for it, and number two, if Gary Owens was then out here asking Whoopi Goldberg
or Oprah
to come here and to stand up for
vouch
this white
for
person,
yeah,
to vouch for this white person that don't want to apologize for saying nigga constantly.
Embrace him. Girl. I saw that and I just ignored it, disregard. Because at the end of the day, you sitting up here asking Ellen DeGeneres. Yes, Ellen DeGeneres has power. Yes, Ellen DeGeneres is popular. But Ellen DeGeneres is popular also because she's been on the right side of history. She's not about to sit up here and let you disparage a whole community that also includes her wife, and her family. And then sit up here and say, oh, well, it's okay. You said that so many years ago. But like we've just discussed, he never apologized. And to me, apologies don't mean anything. Because at this point, he's already checked off my to-do list. He's already somebody I'm not going to be checking for. He don't get $1 of mine. He already wasn't funny to me. So that's add extra injury to insult. Like it's insult to injury. Like it's already so many factors that I'm not going to be checking for Kevin Hart anyway. But for you to sit up here and demand Ellen DeGeneres to, speak out on behalf of him when he can't even speak out and apologize, or is humble enough to admit that he was wrong in the first place, Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. No, ma'am. What Gary Owens is trying to do is be the opening act on his next comedy tour. That's what he's trying to secure. That's the only concern that he has, is being the next opening act on a Kevin Hart comedy tour. That's what he's trying to secure. I don't think that Gary Owens gives two fucks about Kevin Hart.
Gary, I don't know. I don't have nothing for Gary. I really don't.
Because first of all, these white men, when they marry black women, they think they can come in and tell us and speak on shit. No, let's go back to Black Panther when M'Baku, when that white man came in there, he said, "You don't speak in here. You don't have a place. This is not your space, your zone. We are not in America. You don't have no rights over here. So I'm a bark all over everything you trying to tell me." Let's get that energy.
But when he put this message out here, the black community was saying you invited to the barbecue. They was inviting him to the barbecue after he said this.
I already know. And then you're gonna sit up here just like the City Trend girls and say, my hairstylist is gay, my cousin is gay, my this, that, and the third is gay, blah 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 blah. Girl.
Let me just say this real quick about the black community. I really, really, really hate the way that, and right now I gotta wear my gay hat. Like I say, it's hard being black and gay, but right this minute I gotta the black one I gotta take off, and I gotta put the gay one on. And this is not to the entire. I'm speaking holistically, but this is about some individuals. This is not, you know what I'm saying. This is not everybody. I know that we have allies within the black community. I want to say that there's a poll out there that said like 7 out of 10 of Americans at this point feel that it's time for gay people to really be included into society, and it's time to leave all that bigotry behind. So the majority is leaning more so towards it's past inclusion. Time for the bullshit, right? Inclusion, yes. So I'm saying black, but I just want you to know I know it ain't everybody.
Gay marriage is legal.
And come on now, I just want you to know it ain't. I think it was federally done. So
yeah, it was done by the Supreme Court. So.
Right. So the black community, I hate the way that the word sensitive, because the number one thing I kept seeing repeated was, oh my God, the LGBT, they're so sensitive. It's just jokes. They're so sensitive. I really hate the way that word is being used as a weapon against the gay community, the LGBTQ community, when actually, if there is a community that is sensitive, it's probably the black community. That is the most sensitive community, and I'm actually saying rightfully so, because a lot of what makes us sensitive is really the change in time, the way that now we literally just think of the deaths that you have seen on tape these days, as opposed to the way it used to be. We've seen several black men out here getting shot. We actually can see the video of these men dying. Even when you think about XXX getting shot, like we got the way that the world is set up, we have more access. We know exactly what celebs are doing, what they're saying. It's harder for them to have secrets. It's harder for them to hide who they really are. Like, so a lot of that has sort of created an environment where every community is really more sensitive when you think about it than they used to be, because now you know more, you see more, you get to experience more than you used to. And so rightfully so, the black community is very sensitive. But then you turn around and you use sensitivity as a weapon against another minority community. Later on, we're going to talk about how Gabrielle Union just got fucking criticism from the black community, backlash from the black community for being in a hospital gown because she ain't have her baby. The black community was criticizing her for that. Think about how silly that sounds. We're going to talk about it later. She also got criticized for kissing her baby by the black community. But y'all want to talk about being too sensitive, and y'all here trying to tell this lady what to do with her baby.
Her baby.
This lady that had 9 miscarriages over 7 years. What to do with her child that she tried to carry. We're going to get there. But I just want to set where we are, because that word sensitive comes up a lot. And and as far as I understand it, I don't see no community out there in America that's more sensitive than the black community. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that's what it is. It was one more thing that I wanted to mention in here. I'm trying to remember. Oh, okay, Lonnie Love. Yes, I wanted to say shout out to Lonnie Love because she put a tweet out here and she said the bigger issue is how some of us in the black community have shunned LGBTQ people. Been like that for decades. This could have been an opportunity for Kev to work with an organization to help support LGBTQ sisters and brothers, but y'all worried about the Oscars. Thank you, Lonnie Love. The same Oscars that we was just hollering about a few years ago was so white. Now all of a sudden,
this year, what you mean?
Now all of a sudden, the black community is, how y'all gonna take this from Kevin? Granted, the LGBTQ didn't take shit. Kevin took it from himself with his ego. But y'all hollering about how we done took this moment from Kevin, but just years ago y'all was saying we need to create our own war.
And y'all standing by Kevin when he said that he's not going to apologize again. Well, he didn't apologize the first time.
Let me ask this to Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart, what community was that last year that was harassing you for having cheated on your wife? What community was that was constantly making fun of you on the internet? I thought that was the black community. I thought that was black Twitter that was making fun of you. When y'all pick and choose. When the LGBTQ is involved, y'all will team up with whoever. Whoever. It don't matter who it is. Y'all cannot like them too. If they say something that is negative against the LGBTQ, then y'all are in support. And then ready to bash them the next year. And that's just what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
I'm going to pass it back.
Let's see.
We gotta lighten the mood because this is getting tense.
Girl, it is getting tense. What am I doing? Let me see.
Do we have any mood lighteners? Because this Gabrielle Union is not gonna be a mood lightener either. I'm sorry.
Girl, I don't have no mood lighteners. Not in this. Oh, let me do this. I can do this one. So, the Democratic candidate for North Carolina's 9th congressional district is withdrawing his concession amid allegations that his opponent is being accused of, his opponent who is Mark Harris, Republican Mark Harris, is accused of bankrolling shameful and criminal activity to take away North Carolinians' right to vote. So basically the Democratic candidate, and his name is, did I get his name? I think I only got the criminal's name. The criminal Mark Harris is basically under fire because several people who completed absentee ballots reported that their ballots were that they submitted ballots that were being either refilled out or changed or altered or something like that. It's a whole big thing. So basically, Mark Harris, which is the Republican candidate, had been bankrolling an organization and bankrolling people, to basically commit voter fraud, essentially. It has not been yet confirmed, but there's now a whole statewide investigation that's going on, which caused the Democratic candidate to go ahead and rescind his concession speech. It's speculation that in the event that he is disqualified, that there will be a new election altogether, meaning that he will not necessarily be given the congressional seat. He will have to run off against possibly a new opponent. Just depends on how North Carolina's laws work and how that pertains to that, how it pertains to misconduct and eliminations and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. And also that the White House can also demand a new campaign or a new election.
Child, is that gonna happen?
Probably not. So it's pretty much going to either determine. It's pretty much going to be held by the North Carolina state government to do that. And the problem is, and the real kicker is that Mark Harris was deemed to have won by less than 1,000 votes. Wow. So when you less than 1,000, that's every single vote counts.
Yes, God.
So at that point, him rigging, a few thousand election absentee ballots or something like that makes all the difference.
It matters.
Makes all the difference. Mm-hmm. So I'll definitely keep you guys posted as more comes on about that.
I feel like most absentee ballots lean Democratic. Because motherfuckers be getting the fuck out of their motherfucking state. they be knowing. They be like that. This damn, I gotta leave here, honey. Because it's just, shit is just not right here. They don't like niggas here. Like, this is just not. And they be doing absentee and they lean Democratic.
My whole thing is that southern states, I feel like, especially what's going on in Georgia, how they legally, disqualify hundreds, over 100, 200,000, mostly Democratic votes that would have, easily given the gubernatorial race to Stacey Abrams. These southern states have been doing this for a long time. They are not new to this. They are true to this. So that's I'm not even shocked, surprised. I'm not even in
nothing.
I'm
right.
It's just like, okay.
It's reality.
I'm actually glad that we're at a point where these states and these congressmen, these senators, these governors are being held accountable.
Right.
Or at least being tried to be held accountable for their actions. So
I'm telling you, accountability is really the theme of this episode. That's really what this entire thing is about. It's amounting to accountability. So I mentioned briefly about Gab Union and about the situation that happened with her. I want to go ahead and talk about that. So just in case you guys hadn't heard, but she received backlash online. One, like I say, for having been in a hospital gown.
I think we talked about that before on this episode.
We did?
I think when
I
she first announced, we mentioned
that happened a couple of weeks ago, but it kind of ties in with everything that happened. That did happen.
Yeah, I think we mentioned that she was in the hospital gown, and we didn't talk about it extensively, but we mentioned that she was in a hospital gown when she announced that she was, having a baby, such and so forth.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Girl, look, you must have announced that because I know I didn't announce that. I didn't have that but yeah, so she received backlash for that as well as kissing her newborn daughter on the lips. So the internet felt like we got all these nurses and doctors out here apparently, honey, that just have all the answers, and they was coming to her and they was saying, "Oh my God, why you kissing your baby in the mouth? You're not supposed to do that," and this and that. She's a newborn. And so Gab Union had to put out here, and she said, "Hey guys, I appreciate all the concern about kissing on the mouth and labored breathing. I am blessed enough to have a nurse here with us while at work. My baby is healthy, and I don't even touch her without washing and sanitizing myself and everything, and everyone that comes in contact with her. No visits with sick folk, and even all of Oprah's crew got whooping cough vaccinations and current on all vaccinations to be in our home. If you think I waited this long and went through all of this to put my baby in harm's way, you got another thing coming, right?"
Right.
Baby, if you telling Oprah, bitch, before you step your ass in this house, I need to see your vaccination papers. I need to know, are you up to date? Bitch, if you telling that to Oprah and her crew, right, baby, you not playing with your goddamn baby. You not playing at all. And it was really hurtful to me to see the amount of backlash that she's been receiving. And I know that there are some things that can go wrong with people kissing in the mouth and kissing their babies, especially like one particular being is that if you have like a cold sore, or you may not even know you necessarily got one, you may carry the virus and it doesn't present itself, and you end up if you end up kissing the baby and you have that and that baby get that, whereas a cold sore for you might present, when it does present as like a blister. For that baby, it will be deadly. And I've seen horror stories of women who their baby was exposed to like family members who may have had cold sores and either didn't know or wasn't thinking about it and kissed the baby, and the baby ended up having like developmental issues that impacted their life, right, because of something so small. So I get that, but the thing is that I just feel like social media oversteps. Like, you feel like you are in a position to tell this woman what she can and cannot do with her child. Like, y'all take it way too far. Y'all cross the line. And so I hate that she felt the need to have to address all of this. And then people were actually talking shit because she was in a hospital gown, even though she ended up having her baby through surrogacy. The reason why, and she had to even explain that, and she said that the reason why she wore a hospital gown was because she was trying to have skin-to-skin contact with her child, because there are just a lot of different health benefits and things that you can get through skin-to-skin contact. But the nurses and the doctors kept walking in and out of the room, and so she needed to cover herself up. And so she wore the hospital because it was easy to get in and out kind of with the hospital gown and cover yourself up or whatever when someone's coming in the room. And I thought that was, in a moment where people are at the same time on Shade Room saying the LGBT community is too sensitive, and to see Gabrielle Union having to deal with that and having to try to explain that, it really was hurtful. And then when you look into this lady's history and you see where over 7 years she ended up having 9 miscarriages, and on the last one she actually carried the baby for 5 months before she miscarried. I mean, she thought that was the one. She was finally, after having all these damn miscarriages, getting ready to have a baby.
Finally made it through the first trimester.
And at 5 months, you miscarry. That lady is going to do everything in her power to make sure that baby is good. And ain't nobody going to have to worry about her. And what I like most about her, and just what I like about Gabrielle Union, she even put out there a message where she said that, you know, in the event that I do need some advice, you know, I will come to social media if I feel like it's something that I don't mind, you know, opening up about or sharing or whatever. Right. She said, because I am a new mom. Right. And I'm not, you know, I'm not discounting social media's
experience.
Yeah, right. I'm not discounting the fact that I could learn something from you guys. But in this instance, I'm not asking for shit. I'm good. I got it. Whereas
thanks, love, and joy.
Right, come on now. Whereas you got your grandmama who can barely see anymore, barely get around watching your damn baby. I got a whole nurse here.
Why you raised my grandmama?
In my fucking house. I got a whole ass nurse here. Like, that woman she is taking care of that baby. You trust.
She's an RN, not an LPN.
Come on. Come on. She got a real nurse. Not a CNA.
She's registered. CNA. That's what it is.
Not a Nissan Altima driver. She's pulling up in a Mercedes, bitch. A Land Rover.
At least a BMW. Come on.
She looked like a housewife pulling up, sweetie. And she's here. She's here at all times.
She's arrived.
Come on now. She even posted a video on Gabrielle Union. See, Gabrielle got a touch of shade, and I love that. I love women. I love people, period, who have a touch of shade. A touch of petty. That might be the name of the episode, A Touch of Petty. I love people that have a touch of petty, and she said for all of you guys, she said even for you guys who are still, and she put clinging, but she put extra L's and extra I's to really give you what clinging looks like in a text form. She said, for all of you guys who are still clinging to there being something wrong with my baby or something amiss, she said swipe. And when she swiped over, there was a whole doctor doing an examination on her baby, bitch. I said, I'm not. Gabrielle Union, I'm not. And he was like, she is absolutely perfect. I said, yes, Gabrielle, you better have this doctor on here in your house telling you your baby is doing just fine. Come on now.
You know.
But yeah, she ended up doing a special with Oprah. I think it might have aired this past Sunday, and some of the things that I talked about, like the
Oprah was actually there.
Yeah, Oprah came to her house. Like I said, Oprah really came to the door, and Gabby really asked for her examination papers.
Oprah.
Gabby said, "Who do you think I is, bitch? I am Gabrielle Union. You know, Gabrielle Union and Oprah got a relationship. She's been on, you know, they've done things in the past and things. But yeah, Oprah really came to her house, and she made sure that Oprah had her vaccination.
Since what, the 90s? Come on.
Gabrielle is she's a
veteran. She's a veteran.
She's an OG. She certainly is. So yeah, she came on through, and she spoke about some of the stuff, some of the backlash and things she received. I just find that to be, and like I say, most of the people who were criticizing her were actually black women, and that's really sad. I find that sad. I honestly feel like even if let's say that in your mind, in your little world, you felt like there was something amiss with Gabrielle Union's child, I would have more respect for the people who would DM her and say, "Hey, Gabby, you know,
you might, I don't know if you know this, but you know,
this just to share a little information from one new mom to another.
1 to 6 months years old can lead to such and such and such and such. I just wanted
to, just really trying to provide the information, because like I say, when I went and I was reading the comments under the videos and stuff Gabrielle Union was posting, and I didn't see anybody that actually said what was the harm in what could be hurtful or harmful in a mother or people just kissing a baby on the lips. Like what would be what could arise from that? I had to go to Google to actually find out what the fucking problem would be, because you hoes just want to comment and say shit wrong. You don't actually care to give her advice, because like I said, if you would have, then you would have shared the information. But you didn't even say what it was. You just, oh my God, you're kissing your baby on. That's all you had to say, because you're being messy. You're not being helpful. You're being messy.
And you probably just heard that from the other comments.
You probably just felt like you heard that and thought it was right, because people do that all the time.
They do.
The same thing with Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart say that he addressed it several times. You feel like he's addressed it several times.
He say that we too sensitive because he decided to do a Cowboys and Indians party for his 1 year old.
They did do a Cowboy.
That was just last week. That was the week before the Oscar thing. Like he didn't apologize for that shit. He said,
and the internet was fake mad about that.
Kids are kids. Kids dress up as Cowboys and Indians just because they've been taught to dress up as Cowboys and Indians. Because at the end of the day, you all go out to shoot the Indians. I'm not even about to go into this.
Fake, and the internet got fake mad about it. And then now this week we celebrating Kevin Hart because he has said something negative about the gays.
Moving on. But Serena is another example of a mother who has actually reached out to social media. I remember a couple of months ago she asked about, I'm taking long flights because Serena is a working mother. She travels around the world. She does things. She makes coins. So her daughter's with her every 100% of the way. So with that said, she takes many of flights, and she says, I need something for my daughter to do on these flights to keep her entertained, so she doesn't get agitated, so on and so forth. Even though she's flying private, she still cares about not agitating the people in her surroundings. And people's like, oh, you can put an iPad. She said, no, I really don't want to use the iPad because I don't want her to be addicted to technology and this, that, and the third. And thousands of people reported, oh, this is what I use, and this, and so on and so forth. And she appreciates that. And Serena does that all the time. So I feel like Gabrielle Union would be that mother, but at the end of the day, you have to respect a mother's wishes for her child. And at the end of the day, she is ultimately responsible, her and the father, of course. And when she wants to involve you, she will. And if she don't involve you, she won't. And my whole thing is, I have probably 9 or 10 or more nieces and nephews. I don't give my brothers and sisters, I don't say nothing to them about how they raise their kids. If this is how you raise your kid, fine.
And the thing about it is, in that situation, you actually are in a bit of a position to voice your opinion. In that situation,
I could voice my opinion, it would be appreciated. But unless they directly say, I almost said my real name. Wise guy Cole, what do you think I should do? Then I would tell them. But if they don't ever ask my opinion, I don't say nothing to them about how they raise their kids, because at the end of the day, I'm not a parent. I don't have no children. I don't have no dependents to claim on my taxes. None of that. So at the end of the day, this is your decision. Unless you are actually doing harm to the child, like gross harm, gross negligence, something like that, I'm not gonna say nothing to you.
That's how, and that is the approach that social media needs to take. Is that unless you see Gabrielle out here holding her baby upside down, shaking it around,
I thought you were going to say holding the baby over the balcony, throwing shade.
Ooh, let's not shade our legends. That was dangerous. Michael, we love you.
It was
Michael, we love you, but that was terrible. That was terrible. Now speaking of stuff you can't do today. Speaking of stuff you can't do today.
His whole babies would have been taken. All of them kids is not Would have been.
Oh, you know what? I might post that on social media and say, "Baby, times have changed because you cannot hold a baby over a balcony today, honey,
And still keep your kids.
and still keep your kids. It's not going down like that." But okay, yes, I'm passing the mic back to you.
All right, so we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back.
I speak to myself sometimes, and I say, "Oh my." In a lot of ways, you're a lucky guy, and now all you need is a chance.
There's a thing going on social media. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's this whole king of R&B.
Girl, I was hoping to talk about this
discussion that's going on. I certainly was, and now it's the time, bitch. If you want to go and dig into it,
go ahead. And dig into it.
It started from Jaquez or Jaquez or
Jaquez
or James or I don't know.
I don't know.
He got on Instagram. He got on Instagram and he said that he is the king of R&B. Now he said that I know he did. He said I know we got all them other people in the past that did this and did that, but I'm the king right now of R&B. And after he did that, well, shit kind of got real. All of the other R&B artists started coming out of nowhere. Tank posted this picture. And this is like, I guess, his top 5 as well as the requirements to be considered on this list. And he said that the current kings of R&B are number 1, Usher. Number 2, R. Kelly. Number 3, Chris Brown. Number 4, Tank.
Okay, I'm sorry.
What's your laugh, bitch? I can't do it right. Okay, number 5. You know what? I love Tank, but see, I don't know. I don't know about these lists.
Girl.
I don't know about this list, sis. I don't know if you make it, sis.
Number 1 through 3 was okay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3 was okay. Number 5, Trey Songz. Now maybe there's room for discussion. There's room for discussion. He's had a lot of hits. There's room for discussion. Okay, so let's get into what the requirements are according to Tank. Tank said vocal ability, and vocal ability is actually on here twice.
You actually being able to sing.
See, this is what I mean when I say a touch of petty, honey. Vocal ability is on here twice. Next, sales. That's the next biggest on the list.
Which is
these words are actually
Tank from this.
These words are actually. I'm not gonna play with you. Now he done disqualified yourself. You disqualified yourself, sis. You posted the list. And
your
you don't
behavior,
have one of the
your history
diminishes your position. Your behavior diminishes your position.
His activity, his history, his
everything. And see, what I like about these words are actually like he has them like in different sizes. Like they in different, like
it's
the wording,
importance.
So yes,
like
that gives you the importance. The next two is two biggest. It's one next. The next one is consistency. That's the next one. And then after that, there are 2 that are on the same level, and that's longevity and albums. So the number of records you actually done cut. Jaquez, G-E-E-E, this kind of what counts you out at this point. I don't know. Mixtapes don't count, sis. I don't see albums. I don't know.
I don't.
Thought you was a remixer.
I thought he was a.
Thought he redid people's songs that was already hot.
I didn't know.
Don't know. The next ones are innately a crooner, right? You gotta be able to do your little crooning thing. That's the thing of R&B. And relevancy, whether you like this person or not. And I like that he put that in parentheses because that would R. Kelly would have definitely been counted off of this list if we were talking about who we like and who we don't. But we got to just talk about discography and your gifts, not what you did in your life. That's the part we got to leave out. And then the last one is undisputed international presence. So you got to be a global hoe. You can't be no. You can't
if
be
you
no
ain't never toured
internationally.
Hoe.
Come on now. If you an inner city hoe, you're not on this list, baby. You got to be able to go global.
Before you go too much further, can I? Who was your list? I want to say who is your list?
Ooh, that's hard. I don't know. Do you actually have?
You don't have to say number 1, number 2, number 3. Just people that
just
you
say
think
who
are
would be in the top 5?
to be. Not even who would be in the top 5. People who would be on the ballot if they was ever a king of R&B. People's names that would be on the ballot. That could even be considered on the ballot. Because some of these girls who coming forward, it wouldn't even be considered on a ballot.
Ain't they coming forward?
They don't even meet the minimum. You know how when you apply to a job and they said these are the minimum requirements, they don't even meet those requirements, let alone the preferred requirements. So that's.
Let me ask this: do groups count? Do groups?
Yes, yes. Come on now. You on the same page as me? You on
okay?
Because. Who you about to say?
What group you about to name?
Boys to Men. Hey, I can't even get it out.
Hallelujah.
Because at the end of the day, in the 90s, you couldn't tell Boys to Men shit.
They was like right next to Mariah. They was doing big shit.
And Mariah was doing what was considered pop R&B, which was just pop music that was just, had an R&B flavor. But you couldn't tell Boys to Men nothing. Although we've come.
Jagged Edge did pretty well for themselves too.
You can't. At the end of the day, I will agree with. Well, I ain't gonna let you say what you go ahead and finish on this.
Okay, let me say I definitely would have to. My first two picks would definitely be Boys to Men and then Usher.
Okay.
And then Chris Brown is definitely on my list. I actually have a post waiting to post about him on the Instagram now. Chris Brown, as much as I disdain his image and who he is, and
he's been quiet lately.
He's been more quiet lately, and I'm okay. If
what have you done for me lately?
Come on now, if this is
what haven't you done lately? That's what it needs to be.
If this is actual growth, I will accept that, because unlike Kevin Hart, tried to say he was growing, but you put them tweets up when you was 31, so you wasn't like you was no child. So if this is actual growth for Chris Brown, I will accept it, and I will be able to maybe publicly support him and not just have to support him in the closet like I do now. So Chris Brown,
I don't support him no way.
I know Chris Brown, Boys to Men. Who else did I say? Usher, and I'm gonna have to put R. Kelly up there. Because he just it would be rude to not put him up there, because come on now. I don't know too many more men that got a big.
My mind is telling me no, but my body's. That's what got him in the problem. That was a whole pedophile anthem. I'm re-singing. That was a whole pedophile.
And then that I'm not gonna do this with you. And then that fourth position is a little bit of a. It's a
no. You mean the
fifth? Yes, that fifth one is a little bit of a toss up. I could see me putting Neo up there. Personally, I can see me putting Neo up there.
I prefer Trey Songz over Neo.
Well, Neo is a writer. But
see, that's a whole other thing, because some of these people
he's wrote other R&B hits,
right? That's what I'm like. Are you counting that, or are you counting just their performance as an R&B artist? Like, what?
You gotta be able to. I
need guidelines.
You have it. For me personally, it's just mine, because he didn't. That's the other thing. Tank didn't speak to this songwriting. He didn't even speak to none of that. But for me personally, if you have proven yourself as an amazing artist as well as an amazing songwriter, you get double credit for me. So that's why I said that's why. Other than that, then I could have seen Trey Songz. But when you think about the fact that Neo has had a comparable career.
What about Mario? I'll say Mario before Trey Songz.
All three of them have had comparable careers. But when you add in the fact that Neo
was a songwriting
for Mario too,
and for the
Mario
Queen
biggest hit,
and the Queen Bee.
Come on now, Mario biggest hit was written by Neo.
Let Me Love You.
Let Me Love You was written by Neo. So that right there, Neo got to come up. Neo is just like R. Kelly. R. Kelly is an amazing songwriter.
He is.
Neo
he's written for Whitney Houston. He's written.
Come on.
Has he done with Mariah Carey at one point? Nothing.
They did one thing together.
That didn't get released?
That I know of. The remix to...
But I'm talking about they did something in the 90s, I want to say. Didn't they?
Oh, they may have done something in the 90s. I don't know. Don't know. You asking me more than I'm aware of.
Out of my depth.
Don't make me look like a bad lamb tonight, honey. Don't do it to me.
This is... You hit the nail. You hit the nail right on the head. Because when I first thought about R&B Kings, I said, ain't nobody going to say... Boys to Men.
Come on now.
Ain't nobody gonna say, the one R&B group, in addition to Mariah Carey, to have 16 weeks at the Billboard Hot 100. Who was clocking Billboard Hot 100 hits when other R&B groups was just on the R&B charts.
Struggling, honey.
They was just on the R&B charts. Like, Boyz II Men was on the Billboard Hot 100.
Transcended. They transcended.
What do you mean? And then R. Kelly, Usher was the artist of the 2000s. Period. Point blank. He sold more.
The dancing,
did more.
Come on now.
Like when Billboard ranked the artists of the 2000s, he was number 1. I think Nelly was number 2 and Beyonce was number 3. Like it was like, period. Like what? So to me, Usher, Boyz II Men, R. Kelly. If I would include his songwriting, that would bump him up even higher on my list, possibly because he's written so many R&B hits. But even just his solo career, he has hits for days. That's why we have excused so much of his behavior because he had hits. If he was a Jay Holiday, if he was a Tank, if he was
he been out here
Pressure P, if he was any one of them other girls with the behavior that he has done, he would have been canceled.
Jay Holiday say he number 4.
Girl. First of all, singing ability is number 1. At the end of the day, my brother can get up and wear your song out better than you. I haven't even been able to listen to your song since I heard my own personal real life brother sing your song. I heard him sing it. I can't even listen to you sing your own song. That's your number 1 hit. And then it's your only song that I can actually identify as a Jay Holiday song. And you really think that you are this important? Girl, what?
I just want Jay Holiday to know that we have not forgot that shit you said when Mary J. Blige won that Grammy over your ass.
We have not thought about you. That's the only time we thought about you in the last 10 years.
That is. And you was wrong for that. Thinking that you finna get an album over the queen of hip hop soul. You finna get a Grammy over the queen of hip hop soul. Sis, what's T?
All shade.
So no. I'll show you, honey. No. And then Bobby Valentino too.
What did he do?
Pleasure P and Bobby Valentino just made, while we were on break, he just made a video saying that he said that the first 2 are dead. The first 2 kings of R&B are dead, and then he said he didn't name them. He just said that they dead. So I don't know.
Is it Michael? Because Michael wasn't R&B.
Talking about somebody like, I mean, I know no Sammy Davis Jr. wasn't no R&B. I don't know who he.
R&B really developed. Modern R&B developed in the late 80s, early 90s. Period. So I don't know who he could be talking about.
I don't know who. If he might be sticking Michael in there, but Michael is the king.
Michael
of pop.
Started in the 70s, and Michael was
the king of pop.
Michael was king of.
Yeah, he would lean into R&B at times, but Michael was the king of pop.
His most R&B album was his Writings on the Wall and his Invincible album. His was first and last.
Later in his career, not
first and
last.
but throughout the rest of his career, he was pop. 2 piece.
So I don't know who he was. I don't know who on that. I don't know who's there. Oh wait, what about Luther Vandross? I think about soul when I think about him, but Luther is amazing.
He was a transition in between soul and R&B.
Ooh, he was. Luther was hot. Luther had a voice.
I forgot all about Luther. So Trey Songz is out. He like look,
we got somebody got to be moved around.
They out. Cancel.
Yeah, Luther Vandross. I'm sorry, Luther Vandross.
Chris Brown has been bumped. What
they say? Luther Vandross has entered the chat. Luther has entered the chat, honey.
I forgot all about Luther. I forgot.
Okay, Bobby Valentino might got a point because he got a bitch thinking. You done put a bitch thinking cap on. Because now I'm thinking
Bobby Valentino, wasn't he the one that was in that hotel with the
transgender? You know, he's been caught several. It's not really being caught anymore. It's a lifestyle at this point. It's not caught. It's just what you want to do. You like
what you like. You can be a.
And you know what?
You can be ahead of the movement.
Bobby. I like that about Bobby. I actually
but
like
he
Bobby
has
Valentino.
not. He has not actually, spoken about it.
Well, neither has Frank Ocean. Really. I mean,
Frank Ocean did about a little though.
He did what?
He did write a letter.
Because he was about to be forced out in his closet.
From what I heard. Because of the songs that he wrote.
No, he was about to be. From what I heard, someone already had the tea and they was gonna unveil it, and that's why.
He was gonna come out of the closet on the Channel Orange album, like he was talking openly about me and his endeavors.
And somebody was trying to spill the tea before him, and that's why he put the letter there.
That's what I got. What I heard. He put it out because the album that he was making was going to expose him regardless, so he might as well just release a statement.
That girl, you heard a whole nother version of what I heard. I heard the T was on his way. I heard the T was on his way, and he said, "Let me meet y'all at the door."
The tea was in the kettle on the stove. That was you.
Baby, they said Frank stepped up and said, "I was waiting for you at the door, bitch." He had to come up and claim his tea.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know who else though. He said the first two are dead. So I don't know what who the other one would be.
Luther Vandross. Who else?
Pleasure P. Okay, cool.
Isn't that a group?
Ricky. What is it?
Oh,
no, not Ricky Bobby.
Not Ricky
What?
Smiley.
Ricky Smiley. Hot Toddy. No, that's Nicki Minaj song. Pleasure. No, Ricky. Sexy Ricky. What was the name of the group that he was in?
I'm gonna have to Google it. You keep talking now. I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find
out right now too. I'm looking. Pretty Ricky. I knew he had the word Ricky. Woo. Come on.
Thank you, Lord.
Pretty Ricky. Okay, Pretty Ricky had a few hits. They had a few hits, but they're certainly not nowhere near entering the chat. Okay, y'all.
My whole thing is these people really think so highly of themselves. Like. People that we literally would not have even thought of them or mentioned them had, let's say last week, we would have said, okay, name the kings of R&B. Pretty Ricky, Jay Holiday, Bobby Valentino, Tank, Jacquez. They would not have even come up
too. Tyrese he said his album was the last R&B album to be released. Tyrese.
I thought we retired him. I didn't know we was.
He was making sense in that outside of that one statement where he said his album was the last R&B. Outside of that, he was making a lot of sense with what because he was saying like,
but my whole thing is
y'all new folk ain't got no respect.
My thing is people are so interested in claiming a sinking ship. And we talked about this a few weeks ago.
You've talked about how they don't work together, and that's part of why they sing.
Tank mentioned a few weeks ago. He said the reason that R&B is dying. He didn't say that's the reason, but he contributed the reason. One of the reasons is that we are not working together to make sure that R&B stays alive. And he talked about this. It was like a month and a half, 2 months ago, and how R&B artists. He said hip hop artists. Jay-Z is embracing each and every new generation, and everybody's hopping on tracks with each other and doing this, and it's a collaborative effort. He said we need to make R&B exciting again. He said Tank need to hop on a record with Chris Brown and Usher, and Usher need to hop on a record with Jay Holiday and Mario and Jacquez. I don't know. But you get the point. You get the point.
Yes, I do. And Bobby Valentino was actually saying the same thing. He was like, I love this discussion because this is the first time that we have all done something together. He said we act like R&B just out here popping. That's exactly what Bobby
R&B is dying quickly, swiftly. It's dying so quickly that in the next 10 years it might be gone altogether. You might have. What we will have is white people singing R&B music and calling it pop. That's what we will have.
Sam Smith.
That's what Adele, Yebba, any one of these other girls up here doing it. They've been doing this for a long time. They've been slowly and swiftly taking the R&B sound and calling it pop. Anybody want to speak up on that? Speak on that? Y'all want to see? Anybody have something to say? No, y'all don't have nothing to say.
Some of them have been. I know that. I don't know who else, but maybe it was Pleasure P. I think he suggested that they do a song.
It was Pleasure
P. That they do music. That they put out music and let the fans decide. And I think Bobby Valentino suggested that they all do a tour, a King of R&B's tour, and let the fans and stuff decide that way. I thought that both of those ideas were very good ideas.
It sounded like Pleasure P wanted to check, but I also agree.
I think that they should do both. I think both ideas were great. I think that all of them, they should get together, really plan this out, because social media likes a good unveiling, right? Social media likes people who kind of got shit together and planned it out and work it out. So go ahead, all get together, talk about it, discuss it, come up with a tour, come up with how you gonna make it, because it's a lot of y'all. So y'all gotta work it out and figure out how y'all gonna make this happen. With all of y'all,
Chris
y'all
Brown,
should be able to sell out arenas.
While you asking Rihanna and who else he asked, Drake and
some ridiculous tour
Beyonce.
that he asked
Beyonce, Drake, and Rihanna to go on tour with him. Go ahead and get these people you can actually get. You can actually
these
book
R&B
these people.
artists, and y'all all get, and then release new music too, leading up to the tour. All of y'all release new music. I would like to see like that. I feel like that's y'all got a good buzz going right now with this, and I think that social media. If people really pay attention to social media, and I got something I think I wanted to say about going back to Kevin a little bit about just how you can pay attention to social media to kind of figure out what you need to do. Social media will tell you what they want. All you've got to do is follow the damn guidelines that they lay out, and you for sure got something on your hands. Give you an example is when social media said they wanted to put Lupita, Rihanna together in a movie, and they wanted Ava DuVernay to do something.
And Issa Rae
to do something. Yeah, right. So they set the movie up. They set the tone. We still haven't heard.
We told you what we wanted. They writing it. I believe.
That was the last thing I heard. We gonna see if it happens. But social media will go ahead and set
but movies
everything
take a long time to come to fruition. So
they don't take as long as they used to. So I don't. They not in this day and time. They don't take as long as they used to. But movies like Avatar and stuff like that are the type of movies that take a long time. But even with Mariah Carey, the people told you they wanted Cardi B and Lil' Kim on the song. They even told you we'll get a little, if you want to do a full set and give us Queen Latifah and add some more of the little queens
and Missy Elliott and other girls.
Missy Elliott and make it just a girls moment. Like social media told you exactly what they want, and all y'all got to do now is just follow it. And so if they really could put that together and make that work out, I don't know how it's going to. That's the thing, is that egos get in the way. Because it remind me of when TGT tried to come together and then Tyrese's ego got in the way. And it ended the whole thing. So it's just, I don't know. But y'all, we gave y'all the blueprint. Y'all just got to put it down and make it work.
It's a lot. It's a lot of mess. You know, the men been messier than the women these days. I didn't know this was a thing when I was growing up, but yeah, that's what's really been going on. Just my official list. I feel like Usher is probably number one. I would actually rank him over R. Kelly. R. Kelly, a Boyz II Men would be number 2/3. Just depending on when I run the statistics, what the numbers say. And then my whole thing is that, you know, Jay Holiday, Pressure P, y'all didn't even write these songs. Y'all was just vocalists, and then y'all couldn't even sing them live. So I'm not even about to really count y'all in consideration for nothing, because y'all didn't impact my life. My whole thing is, let's go back to Usher for a moment. Let's just take one moment. I was a sheltered child, meaning I grew up in a devout Christian household. I was not allowed to listen to secular music, but what I will tell you is I knew when Confessions came out. That means, what I'm trying to tell you is how big that album had to be tremendous for it to penetrate my Christian bubble and get to me. Because I knew when that album came out, everybody was talking about that album. Everybody was talking about Chili. Everybody was talking about, you know, Usher this, Usher that. Everybody was singing the song. Yeah. And Confessions. Everybody, like, it was everywhere.
Well, you would really hear about it was at school. That was when I got mine in. When I learned about what was going on.
SNL skits. Like, that album was everywhere. Now, I can't say anything about R. Kelly's biggest albums. Most of his biggest album was in the 90s. I was very much a child, so I can't speak to the volume of that. But what I will say is that commercially, if you discount R. Kelly's writing credits, Usher did the damn thing. Now y'all want to say y'all might want to discredit him because he got herpes and all of that. I won't say he got herpes, but it's allegedly his alleged herpes. But at the end of the day, he has hits, and he would be my number one. R. Kelly and Boyz II Men would be battling for number 2. I would even throw Chris Brown in there because even though I personally don't like none of his music, the girls been rocking with him since 2006.
Chris Brown was one of the last R&B artists that I can think of that came into the game that really had vocals of that he could have got on stage behind a Tevin Campbell, and people would not have been disappointed.
Ooh, Tevin Campbell. You know, that's one of my favorites.
He's not, but I love Tevin too.
He's top 20.
He didn't have enough hits.
He's top 20.
Yeah.
But
now if we speaking pure vocals, then he could get a lot higher. He can get a lot higher. He may even make it into the top 5 with them vocals. But outside of that, like I said, Chris could easily have came behind Tevin and the audience would not have been disappointed. But what do you have any more Reckless for us?
I do have a bunch of Reckless. So let me go ahead and do a couple of things. Michael Cohen, who is Trump's attorney, he signed a plea deal with Mueller and the FBI. For some reason, I don't know, he thought he was not going to get no jail time. He pleaded guilty to, I want to say, tax fraud and campaign fraud. Those were the two things, campaign finance fraud and tax fraud. But those two things he could plead.
Well, you know what, Mueller was advocating that he don't get no jail time, but I think it was the New York district or the
so Mueller told him that at the time that we're gonna advocate you don't get no jail time because you're gonna work with us to incriminate.
And he still said that, but it was like they
it's not up to him.
Two different findings, right? It ain't even up to him.
It's not up to him. And at the end of the day, the prosecution in New York said, "Well, we done reviewed the evidence and his cooperations with Mueller, and he ain't provided enough tea on Trump for him to warrant, getting off scot-free." So they have advised the judge that he gets anywhere from 51 to 62 months in prison. What is 51 months? Let's see what 51 months is. How many years is that? That's like 4 years, something like that. 51 divided by 12. That's 4 and a quarter years. So they've advised him at least to get 4 and a quarter and a half years to 6 years in prison.
Not much at all for how I feel about what he did. Let me say that for how I feel, how big it is what this man did. That's not a lot of damn time. When you sitting up here and you'll send somebody to jail, I want to say that Ty Dolla $ign is getting ready to go to jail over possession of marijuana and possession of cocaine for like 15 years or some shit. Like exactly. They trying to give him. So he
must have had crack. He didn't have cocaine.
He did have. Well, they say cocaine, but girl, I don't know. I don't know. I told you I don't do them things
because cocaine will get you off. Cocaine is a white people drug.
It is until you black. Then it's crack.
If you smoke it, it's a lot of time if you snort it. Because we're not putting up nothing about those. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing no ma'am. I smoke it. I'm not doing. But back to what we was talking about before. I'm sorry.
But yes, when you think about the fact that Ty Dolla $ign was only you being on drugs is only impacting you. But you sitting up here doing this campaign violations and you trying to basically get over on America and hide the reality of what's going on with Trump, you have affected the election. You have affected the entire country with what you did, and you only get 4 years. That's ridiculous.
That's privilege in America. But yeah, so that's what's going on with that. Cohen has argued that he just feel like he deserves no jail time. His actual sentencing is on December 12th. Today's the 10th, so the 12th will be Wednesday. So we'll see what he actually gets. That's just what the prosecution is urging. They also, Cohen's lawyers and attorneys have argued that, Cohen is a good-hearted citizen. He's accepted responsibility and so on and so forth. But the prosecutors have presented evidence to show that it's false. He has not accepted prosecution. Not accepted prosecution. Has not accepted accountability for his actions. He is not proven to be historically a good person. He's actually proven to be malicious and only seeking to to seek greed and live an opulent lifestyle and so on and so forth. So we'll see what goes on. I'll be surprised if he gets more than 2 years. Honestly, I'll be surprised if he gets more than 6 months. Honestly, but we'll keep you guys posted on that. I do want to do one other quick topic. So because of Cohen's work with his and him acting on behalf of the Trump administration or Trump organization, I should say, in an effort to finance campaign fraud and so on and so forth, Trump and his inner circle is now under investigation or being considered to be under investigation because at the end of the day, they are believed that Cohen was acting under the direct authority or direction by Trump or someone very close in his inner circle. So, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and we've called her before, she's denied, she's denied these allegations saying that Trump and his team have had no affiliation with any of the crimes that Cohen has committed and so on and so forth. But that's a lie. Cohen ain't just committing these crimes on his own. He was an attorney. He acted on behalf of the president, and somebody directed him to do these things. Now, if it comes out, or it turns out to be that it was actually Trump, those are impeachable offenses, at which point people are already speculating that what Trump might do is, in the event that he feels that he's going to be indicted or something like that, because let's go back, let's rewind. So it's still unclear whether or not a sitting president can be indicted. Supreme Court judges.
It's looking like it ain't possible. Because what I'm hearing is that he's gonna be charged after he get out of.
It's looking like that it's almost impossible to indict a sitting president, and that the day that he becomes no longer a president, he will be eligible for indictment. Now, so what people are speculating is that 10 minutes before he is expected to, relinquish his presidency, he could resign his presidency, give it to Pence, and then Pence could pardon him. Because he cannot, it's looking unlikely that he'll be able to pardon himself. So it's looking unlikely that he'll be able to actually pardon himself, meaning because, the president has the authority to pardon any American citizen.
He better not be able to fucking pardon himself.
But it's looking unlikely that he'll be able to pardon himself.
The damn president got too much fucking power.
Exactly.
And this is really what Trump is highlighting. Is that they are at the point now where the filings basically are saying that Michael Cohen committed felonies under the direction of Trump. Meaning that he directed that man to commit felonies. And we have that knowledge. That is exactly what the interpretation of what the filing says is. And we can't do shit about it.
We can't.
The president has too much power.
Without somebody willing to impeach him, nothing that can be done about it. Nothing. That's it. Without a governing body, the Senate or the Congress being able to willing to impeach him, nothing can be done about it. But as come January, Democrats will have the House. The House, so they could have the opportunity to begin impeachment proceedings. So we'll see what goes on with that, but we'll see. But yeah, that's all I have.
Girl, you depressed me just all over, honey. Let's get into some lighthearted fun news. Cardi B has announced
Come on, lighthearted.
that her and Offset have ended their relationship, honey, and she will be filing for a divorce. Yes, Cardi, I am happy, girl. This is good news to me. Social media feel like it's bad, but it's good to me. So she posted a video on her IG, and she said that they have been working on things for a long time. I really don't know. Can y'all show me where long time is? I didn't see long time.
They've been married less than it's probably been a year and a half now since it's in 2018. So mid
of marriage. So where's long time problems? Since the beginning of the marriage,
right? Since before the marriage,
because he cheated on you before the marriage.
During the marriage,
cheating on you after the marriage. If he could have cloned himself, he would have been getting married and cheating too. Like that's what this has been. So in the caption, she said, there you go, peace and love. And Offset commented and said, y'all won.
No,
sis,
nigga, you
gonna
lost.
have to eat this one. You gonna have to eat this one, sis.
Because at the end of the day, this is not a marriage or a relationship that I feel like people are actively hoping would fail. I knew it would fail. I think you knew it would fail because we have common sense and logic and reasoning, and we understand how relationships work,
especially of Atlanta rappers and
how they right. So, but the general public was actually receptive, surprisingly receptive to your relationship with Cardi B, and then they embrace your marriage. They've embraced Cardi B. They've embraced the success that has come. So. You don't have a relationship where people are actively rooting for you to lose. You're not Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon. You're not JD and Janet Jackson. You're not one of these relationships where people, or Britney and Kevin Federline, where people just was like actively rooting for this relationship to fail. You caused this relationship to fail because of your actions with your penis and other attachments on your body that you just could not keep in control. That's point blank in the period. You need to take responsibility for your own actions and your own behavior. At the end of the day, it's not, oh, y'all won, the social media got to her and she's leaving me. No, this is actions that you did.
This is things that you and let's talk about what it was most recently. So, consistently there have been rumors of Offset sleeping with this one and sleeping with that one over there. And we hadn't had the time or the energy or have been, caring enough to really report on enough of it. But there were two more rumors that came up, and there was really a lot of evidence that it was just kind of hard to just kind of, shrug this one off or to go up to a club and throw a bottle at a bitch thinking that she lying or something like that. Like, this one looked like, okay, you did what you did. There were two women. One of them name was Cuban Doll, who was supposed to be, she was setting up a threesome with Offset. And all of that tea came out via one of her friends named MMM Foreign. And this one you gotta be careful. They say keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer, honey. You gotta be careful about who all you telling your business to, because if you turn a friend into an enemy, she got all your tea. Okay, so Cuban Doll ended up fucking falling out with this MM Foreign chick, and she released all of these text messages that she had that were between Cuban Doll and Migos, and not Migos, I sum them up, girl, Offset, and all of these FaceTime videos between them. And so we had to tea that it was true that, that he was in the process of trying to set up some fuckery with this woman. There was also this other chick by the name of Summer Bunny, who also, she actually slept with Offset. And she was down to the TMZ, honey, crying and telling them she's sorry and apologizing to Cardi B. And she was saying that she didn't know how serious their marriage was. And that
What's her name again?
Summer Bunny.
I saw that video. She was like, oh, I didn't know your marriage was serious.
I didn't know it was serious. And when she first said that, I was like, that is the most ridiculous motherfucking shit I done ever. What the fuck you mean you don't know how serious a goddamn marriage is? But then I started thinking about it, and I said, you know what? When your husband is out here constantly disrespecting you, every month there's a new rumor that he's cheating on you. You having to go to court right now to deal with some damn charges that came up from you fighting bitches who slept with your man. Then I'm right there with Summer Bunny. I didn't know the marriage was serious either. I didn't know. Summer Bunny was trying to get a
I thought this was play.
Come on now.
I thought this was play.
Summer Bunny was trying to get a winner baby. Okay, she was trying to get paid. So I'm right with her. I understand. I don't know how serious the goddamn marriage is. So Cardi B also posted a picture of her baby, Culture. Did you see that?
I did. Beautiful
the baby. She's adorable too. She does look like Hennessy. She said that she looked like Hennessy. She really does. But people were saying that she posted that to spite Offset. I guess he was the one who didn't want photos and things and stuff out there of the baby. But the baby is cute. I will say that's like the only positive thing that she got out of this situation with Offset. But there are a lot of people online, like you said, that they were team Cardi with this whole marriage, and people are actually out here disappointed and sad and stuff that they decided to call it quits. And I'm just like, y'all really, is that where we are now? where a woman can sit up here and constantly be cheated on and treated like shit by a man, and then when she make up her mind, realize her self-worth and decide to leave, we then say, oh no, we hope y'all work it out. What is there to work out? Her man ain't shit. There's nothing to work out.
Right.
What exactly do you want? He wants to sleep with other people and also be with Cardi B. And I just think it's terrible. People should be celebrating and clapping for her and being glad that this, because we see so many stories of women who stay in situations that are not productive and not helpful for them. This woman was shouting this man out in songs, and she committed herself to just one man, and he can't give the same back. And we want her to get back with him?
We're now reaching a climate and a culture where cheating is like, oh, okay. That's
cheating for a man is like, oh, okay.
Right, that's what I mean. Cheating for a man, as a woman, cheating is like, oh, okay, it's expected.
You a hoe then. You do it when you're a woman, you a hoe.
It's expected. It's nothing new. Dozens and millions of women have been through it. It's just a time you go through it. You keep the bag. You keep, the person that
you said for better or for worse. You gotta,
That's another relationship where they got married after being dating less than a year. But at the end of the day, I can tell you before you even dated him, he's not the one. If you're trying to marry, I don't know why people feel like they want to marry these people who are not showing themselves to be marriage material. Like it is ridiculous to me. Like
she definitely got into this marriage with the hood mentality that she's known.
We ride or die. We Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, she did it with the hood mentality. And he put out here, today is Monday the 10th for us, but he put a tweet out here yesterday that says, "Fuck y'all, I miss Cardi."
We don't give a fuck.
Still not taking it. There's nothing there. Like, what is this? What is that? And there were people posting and saying, "Oh, y'all look, he missed Cardi." Oh, what about that said? Oh, what about that? Fuck y'all, I miss Cardi. Still blaming and acting as if social media was the reason why you are not with Cardi B no more. Fuck y'all, as if you the one that's not sitting up here trying to stick your dick everywhere to go. Like, really? Fuck y'all, and y'all think that's cute.
Cause y'all dumb.
Not y'all listening. Not y'all. We talking
not y'all for sure.
We talking about the people who, yes, God. We talking about the people who sit up here online saying this bullshit. Like, this is probably the most positive thing that Cardi has done all year.
Right.
And this is the thing that people are not for. This is the best thing she's done for herself. Like this, I find that ridiculous.
I'm with Cardi. I understand because my whole thing is that if you're gonna be with somebody that's cheating, either let him cheat in peace, let him do whatever he want to do, let him not have to stress and not worry about you acting.
Don't be fighting bitches behind.
Right.
Don't
let him cheat in peace if you're not gonna leave him. But now that she finally got the energy and the courage to leave him, okay, let's really do this thing. Let's go ahead and do better. But I don't know. It's just Cardi.
It's exhausting. Social media is exhausting. It really is. It's hard. But I hope that Cardi sticks to her guns with this one. She sounded in that video. She sounded like she wasn't even like she just went on and gave you the whole picture. She said, "Look,
like she wasn't even
done."
She said she
really
did.
Sound done.
She didn't sound like she was
still had feelings.
Still had feeling like it was like it's already a discussion that's been had.
Yep.
We done already settled this. This is what it is. I'm just letting y'all know, just so y'all can stop asking me why Offset coming to my events looking like he don't want to be there. So this
and
is
if
why.
she is for real with this, then it makes sense. It really makes sense. Like I feel better about her as this decision right here makes me feel better about her as a person, because I'm not gonna act like you can't fall head over heels for somebody and maybe make a bad decision or two. So. If this is real and she does not end back up with this man, I could see myself heading back into the direction of Cardi, because one of the biggest issues I've had with her is the behavior that she has displayed during the time that she has been with this man. So if she can get away from him and she can really get focused back on her career, especially at a time when you being nominated for Grammys above Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole and
right, Jay-Z and Beyonce.
You getting more Grammy nominations than them, and
girl, this real talk. Shout out to the Grammys fuck y'all. We don't. I'm sorry. I just said it real quick. But I'm gonna be watching as long as the Carter said they showing up. If they say they're not showing up, I will not be in attendance.
You're gonna see the performances on YouTube. That's
right.
What
I'm gonna see their performances down to the YouTube channel. But other than that, if they not, but I'm honestly not even that pressed. You know, Beyonce and Jay-Z, but Beyonce has 22, Jay-Z has 21 Grammys. It's not.
So they were nominated for no. I didn't hear anything about them. Were they not?
They were not nominated for the big awards. They were nominated for 3 Grammys apparently. 3 Grammys. For Everything Is Love. But I'm not. It's not that big. I honestly really do not care. I just care about Beyonce's next solo project. Now, if y'all try the same clownery, it's a whole other problem. We have a whole other issue.
It's gonna be an issue.
We have a whole issue. Now, this joint project is cool. It's fine. It's whatever. Y'all want to do what y'all want to do. 3 Grammy nominations, and the likelihood of them winning 1 is low.